Alright, we've got a special treat for you tonight. A guest that was in Washington on the 6th, the fated day. Let me turn this down just a little bit more. Alright, my Discord says... Oh, back. Okay, good. What's up, Grayson? How you doing, sir?
Hey, doing pretty good.
Oh man, what a time to be alive, huh?
You're telling me.
People getting
I think we're pretty lucky though to be alive during these times. It's boring to grow up as a boomer in extended peace and look how they turned out. So I feel pretty lucky. Even though things look bad, I feel pretty lucky to be a young man in these times.
Yeah, that's true. I know we'd probably end up ruining everything like they did too. So at least at least it's not our fault. Yeah, it might get it might get way worse, but you never know.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna message Joe, see where he's at. So, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? You can talk about your channel and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm American Grayson. I see on the title you spelled it with an E, American Grayson, Greyson. And I'll say some stuff in the chat so if anybody is following, they can just click on my name and go to my channel through there.
Oh, did I
I talk
spell it
about
wrong?
politics. Yeah, you spell it with an A, but it's okay. I mean,
I
I
can
get that a
change
lot.
it. But
All
yeah,
right.
sorry about that, dude. My bad.
So I talk about politics. I have a show called Pure Politics. I go to a lot of these events. I've been to every single Million MAGA march. Went to Blexit. I go to as much political stuff as I possibly can. Within reason. And I get videos and I put them on YouTube. But with how much censorship's going on, I have a bunch of video that I can't put on YouTube. So I do a D live show and I just talk about it. And yeah, that's basically what I do.
Heck yeah. Have you found much success doing that? I know, with D Live capping their top guy, it seemed like he was political, Mr. Fuentes. Have you
Yeah,
found
the
much
top
success?
earner. Um, no, no. We were talking earlier before the show started, and I agree with you that I'm not doing this really to make money. That I'm just doing it because I like what I do, and I really think that people need to be able to speak the truth and get their voice out there. So I'm not super popular yet, but that's okay with me.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the best way to do it too, because there's so many people in this game. I call them grifters, but there's many different terms for the type of person that's just in it for the money, and they're not to not. I mean, I'm not like somebody that's super concerned with morality and things like that. I find this to be a lot of fun. But still but that being said, I'm not out there pretending like that. And a lot of people will say one thing, but in their real life they do a different thing. And they're just
Yeah,
in it for the money. And as soon as it doesn't become profitable anymore, they're just gonna leave. But I'm in it for
cash
the
out.
long haul. Yeah. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I'm anonymous, and I wish it wasn't that way. And I don't, me personally, I don't even hold any views that I think most people would consider unreasonable. But they keep pushing the goalpost every time. So
Yeah, they're trying to shift the Overton window really far
yeah,
left and
that's
just kick any sort of semblance of right leaning people and even centrism now. Just kick it out of the sphere of acceptable speech.
you're right about that. It's I saw something a long time ago, and this was probably like a year and a half ago, and it's still kind of true today. It was a YouTube comment, and it was like first they came for Mumkey Jones, and I said nothing. Then they came for Alex Jones, and I said nothing. Then when they came for me, there was no one left to talk, and I was like, man, that's so funny how they flipped that around. But it's
I
so
know.
true, man. When you like they banned Alex Jones completely, unpersoned him, basically. That was a while ago, and people were outraged about it, but nothing really changed, And now when they decide to take out, 5 or 10 major people, people get outraged, but it's almost to the point where they're the companies have positioned themselves in the marketplace so much that even any alternative is it's not really going to be able to exist. And it's like with Section 230, without Section 230, it doesn't matter. They can they can afford to hire the lawyers if Section 230 gets repealed and there's nothing in place for smaller sites and stuff like that. And as of right now, they really don't have to worry about lawyers too much because they're not liable. So it's kind of to get the right person to pass the right legislation to where things are just as they should be, just fair and equal, just a standard baseline like that. It would need to be something revolutionary.
Yeah, I feel a lot of it has to do with the fact we have a lot of people in government who don't even understand technology. They understand technology from people like Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg going in there and telling them what to think. They're not like you and I, where we at least have some semblance of knowledge.
Do you remember when this was like, I think, the first time Mark Zuckerberg testified before, I think it was either the Congress or the Senate, or they had put together a team of Congress people and senators to ask him about Facebook and privacy and all this stuff. And it was so stupid at the time, I thought it was a psyop. Like, I thought they were asking these questions to pretend like they had no idea what they were talking about. But now, lately, as you see more and more people get censored, it used to, if you were quote-unquote censored, there were different places you could go and different things you can do. But they've gotten in the habit of when they want to deplatform somebody, it's everywhere. And if you've got any kind of following to try and host video streaming or something like that, the cost to do something like that is astronomical.
Oh yeah, because now even like Amazon owns a lot of the big server farms. They'll just kick you off the servers. You need to go the Gab route, where you build everything, just literally everything. You even have your own servers to hosting it. And we're getting to the point where we actually need a phone company. We need somebody who makes a phone and an operating system, because Google Play, and the iPhone store, the Apple store, are not hosting stuff like Gab. So they'll just, if you create a parallel app with its own servers, the phones will just kick you off.
Yeah, it was shout out to Adawolf for the host. Thank you for that. I saw something in Telegram today. Someone was like, "Hey, go ahead and check this out if you're an iPhone user." And like, if you have certain things enabled, they can just delete apps right off your phone.
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh shit," that's not surprising, but the way they buried it was under like screen time usage and all this stuff.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a fake thing. If Apple wants to change your phone, they can. They have the power to do it, and even Android has the power to do it. There's an app that a lot of people get installed on their phone without accepting it on the Androids, and it's like Wi-Fi protection or something. And I went through, because it shows up all the time. I have to uninstall it. I go through the comments on this Wi-Fi protector app. It's through Sprint, so I guess it's whoever your provider is. And it's people saying that they have the same problem, this app, they never installed it, and it keeps popping up. And when I talked to Sprint about it, they said it's a necessary one that they install with admin controls. So even Android has the power to manipulate apps on your phone. It's not just Apple.
Yeah. Oh, and I think like Android, it's a little bit harder because there's so many different versions of Android and stuff like that. It would be easy to just target the most popular phone models and that sort of thing, but they have enough time. They could do it. Whereas Apple, they can just in the next update hit every single iPhone.
Yeah.
What up? Joe's here. Joe Schmo, the co-host.
What's happening? So the argument is, if they need this app, then why is it not included whenever the OS is put on the phone?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, and I hate that too, that like they have these preloaded apps that are just, uninstallable, and they're just permanently there.
Yeah, because if you don't know what you're doing, you can fuck some shit up, but at the same time, just because something's there does not mean you cannot uninstall it, but that kind of goes back to like, how much do you want to play with your daily device?
Well, yeah, and it'll void your warranty and all that stuff if that's something
no,
you're
fuck
into.
that shit.
Yeah,
Fucking prove
really
it. Just do a factory reset and take it back to them. And besides, if you trade your phone in, which like I personally don't, but like a lot of people do. So I can do a factory reset and wipe the shit.
Yeah, that's not a bad
You should
idea.
be doing that anyways.
Yeah, I never considered that, but I just did it, you know, I've never traded a phone in, but if I did, yeah, I would like all but brick it before I turned it in. Can you check your DMs on Discord, Joe, real quick?
Yeah.
All right, cool. But yeah, even when I went to get my phone's battery replaced, and the guy was like, "Yeah, can you unlock your phone?" And I was like, "Do I have to, bro?" And he's like, "Yeah, we just need to make sure that it's charging and all this stuff." And I was like, "All right." And I really wanted to be like, "Well, can I just like watch you do it?" But I was like, that's odd. It only took him like 30 minutes to change the battery, so. But they could have totally downloaded everything on my phone if they wanted to. But I was like, there's secrets on there that could lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton, so just be careful.
I know a guy that worked at the local Verizon, and I mean, it's the same stories you always hear from like Geek Squad, where if you have no idea what you're doing and you took your computer to Geek Squad, you know, God help you, there's shit on your computer you don't even know is there. And it's like the same thing, where it's like the occasional fucked up thing, but most time it's just tits, you know, and a bunch of bullshit. But like, yeah, when he worked at the cell phone store, he was like, oh yeah, people would just drop their phone off and have no idea that like their wife, like a year worth of porn is on their phone, and they just left it with a complete stranger at a cell phone store, and it's okay because they work for the corporation. And he was like, we had folders of tits. And it's just like, I literally know this person. They came in to get their phone, and I saw their tits. I saw them getting dicked down by their spouse.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
If it was someone that I knew, I don't know if I could refrain. Like, I wouldn't get deep in there, but I'd, you know, hit the little photo scroll or something. Just be like, oh, wow, they're really living like that. One thing I would do, though, is check their internet history. That I can't help myself. You just type in POR, and then you... Let's see. Okay, so I corrected your name in the tweet as well. I'm really sorry about that. I thought I copy and pasted it, but I didn't.
It's all right. No worries.
Yeah. All right. So what? I guess we'll get into the nitty gritty of this thing. You said you'd been to a lot of other demonstrations. Would you say that DC was different or the same as energy level as some of those other ones?
Oh yeah, January 6th. Yeah, I would say the energy level on that day was just it was phenomenal. It was more than any previous Million MAGA March. I went to the previous two, and the January 6th one was just amazing. It was like a crescendo in a way.
Yeah, it seemed like that, you know, you look at a lot of political artists and stuff like that, and they were all hyping up January the 6th. Donald Trump was hyping it up. So I think people were at a breaking point, you know, as far as just blow after blow from various things, various stuff happening, and, you know, stolen elections, that sort of thing. And then also, I think Trump's, I don't know if you would call it his inadequacy, but his lack of doing things to try and curtail not only some of the election stuff, but also just, you know, his entire base getting decimated by bans, voter registration laws that we could have put in place and everything, but anything he tried to do was too little too late, and he got hamstrung. And I noticed that when it started getting disseminated that Pence wasn't going to do anything, that's when everybody started going wild and migrating towards the Capitol. Would you say that's accurate? Uh-oh. He's lighting up, folks, but he might be dead. They got him before he even started. Let's see. I'm pretty good at tech support, though.
He said he can't hear anyone right now.
Yeah.
The ball is in your court, buddy. I have no idea. Right, let's see if he's lighting up.
Yeah, I'm gonna check.
He's showing that he's lighting up full time.
Yeah, but he's lighting up constantly. Oh. Just tried to unmute. Did that work at all? Alright, let's see. Can you hear me now? Okay, so it's not the voice channel.
That better?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. I just took you out and put you back in. Sometimes that reconnects the voice chat. So yeah, just type in general if it happens again.
All right.
Cool.
So what was the summary of your question?
Yeah, like, do you feel like when it got announced that Pence wasn't going to do anything, that that was when the attitude kind of shifted from like a rally to something more, yeah, just trying to use, you know, terms that are allowed, a more energetic crowd?
Well, I feel like the march on the Capitol building and initially the people going into it, nobody even knew what Pence's decision was at that time. And if you remember, the proceedings actually got interrupted, so the final decision didn't reach the news and didn't reach everybody until after the 6 p.m. curfew.
Oh, I got you. I didn't even know there was a curfew in place for that day.
Oh yeah, I'll just tell the whole story if you want me to.
Yeah, I guess we'll take it from the top, and then we've got some like questions. If there's something that's specifically applicable, we might cut in a little bit, but that might be the best way.
All right, cool. Yeah, well, I was there January 5th and then January 6th. And January 5th, there's like a pre-rally, which is really high energy. So it was like a pre-game of what was going to happen the next day. And when I woke up January 6th, I go out to the National Mall. I'm down in front of the National Monument, and there's millions of people there. When I get up over this crest at the National Mall, that's like the big place where all the grass is, and I get up and I look over there. It's just people as far as I can see, and they're all packed together. And I look behind me, and there's still more people walking towards it. So it was absolutely massive, and just American flags and Trump flags everywhere.
I did watch
really good positive energy.
I did watch Baked Alaska's stream. He was streaming that event too, and the one takeaway that I got from that was that the boomers were activated. It seems like they were they were antsy.
Yeah, I did a bunch of interviews for my YouTube channel out there, and a lot of people they're like, you know, we're gonna fight, like we're gonna literally fight for Trump.
Yeah, and I mean they were, yeah, it's something to say about how they handled that. It's funny how no matter what, some people just cannot understand, like, one, optics, but two, at the same time, like, any kind of humility. Like, if you're not doing exactly what I think you should be doing, then I'm going to tell you about it. And a sense of division almost from the boomers. I think they take, like, you know, they have no ability to see perspective from other people's sides, but that's just me.
Well, in the boomers' defense, they grew up in the last decade of white America in the 1970s, where money was easy and jobs were easy, and they had this steady flow of information from people like Walter Cronkite, so they had a very strong trust in the mainstream media and their narratives being put out. So when they look upon like our generation, and then I don't know if you're Generation Z or not, but I'm 30, so I'd be in the millennial crowd. But 30 and younger, they don't really get it. They don't.
Huh? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm in the middle of two of them.
I'm in your age group.
If you look at one, you know, marketing chart, it might say I'm millennial, and then if you look at the other one, it's like I'm whichever one is younger than that. I can't remember if it's Y or what have you. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So in the topic of boomers, they kind of view the world through what they grew up in, and they don't really understand that by increasing all of these immigrants to just overflowing levels and having their offspring compete with all these new immigrants and outsourcing all the jobs and creating this service economy in a way for America, that they've essentially destroyed what they grew up in. And for them, they don't really understand that. So they have a lot of trust in the mainstream media, and they're seeing it finally lie to them. It's their entire worldview is beginning to crash down around them. Yeah, that's how I feel the boomers and why they're so insane right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. People hate change no matter what it is. If it's for the better, they still are resistant to it. So,
I asked me and my dad were talking about that today, and just about his generation in general that, was in Vietnam or, saw Vietnam on the news every day, and how they have a very strong built-in distrust of the government because they saw during their formidable years the entire public asking for one thing and the government doing the exact opposite. So, no, I mean obviously it's very different or similar to where the saying is when you're younger you're a liberal, and as you get a little bit older and wiser you become center or Republican, but you still have that distrust coming from that era. So a lot of them are still stuck in the, anti-government or maybe distrust of politicians, dirty politicians and all the tropes, mixed in with, well, the news doesn't lie to me also. So as long as they see the news saying, oh, this is a corrupt politician, this is, swindling, blah blah blah. So they still say, well, it's on the news and it's on all these channels. And then you have some of those people saying, hey, you guys lied about fucking everything over the last couple of years, or, as however long they've been looking at things. It's a real shock to the system, right? I mean,
I'll be right back, boys.
Especially
Joe,
if you have 50-year-olds.
You can steer the ship for a second.
If you have 40 to 50-year-olds standing at a protest, it's a very different mindset of someone at 50 at a protest versus someone who's 20 at a protest. Even if they're there for the same reasons, a 50-year-old taking time off work to go make a political stand is very different than a 20-year-old doing it, right?
Yeah, that's very true.
So
have you ever checked out Shakespeare's 7 Ages of Man?
No. My brother really liked it, and I have not read it.
So Shakespeare kind of puts this thing together about how men and their personalities and their views of the world change over time. And I bring it up because young men, like you were saying, are more apt to participate in this political stuff and protest. But older men are more content and more patient. And the fact that we have older people out there and having their worldview completely changed, that the news is lying to them, it shows that there's a huge problem, because it's not in their normal personalities as older people in their 50s and 60s to go out there. Usually that they just want to have patience and calm and sort this out through their words.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the most telling, right? Is that you have a generation that is, it's not in that, I don't want to say personality, but it's not characteristic of them to say, no, fuck that. I'm going out there and I'm making a stand because I'm tired of this shit. That says a lot that you have so many people doing that. It's very different for a lot of reasons, but take out the news, take out the anger, take out the political motivation, okay? Republican versus Democrat, and just have the basis of your beliefs of what you want for humanity, right? It is a very different group of people with their mindset of a group of people who would show up at a Capitol versus the average mindset of someone who wanted to march for Black Lives Mattering, social justice. It's a very different mindset of what they are there for when you take all politics out of that, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, I would say not anger at, someone who would show up at a Capitol-like event, not the Capitol itself, but something like that, right? Not anger, but it's a very strong stance of someone who would do that is 40 or 50 versus someone who would do that at 40 or 50 years old, back in the summer during those protests, right? That's what was the most eerie to me about the Capitol, was that, I guess it was a helicopter shot or a drone shot, where you just saw thousands of people marching down the street, joining another group of thousands of people. I forgot what the two, like, it was at the Capitol, and then to the northwest of the screen was people coming from another event nearby.
On the 6th?
Yes, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. There were actually a lot of boomers there, which I thought was amazing because it's a lot of these people who usually would not come out to protest. And when I got to the Capitol building, it was surrounded on all sides. There was at least 1 million people. It was just packed together as much as they possibly could up at the Capitol building. And,
really, you think there was 1 million people there?
There had to have been, because how else? Like, I took some pictures and some videos. I'll send it to you on Telegram, but I can't. Like I said, I can't show them on my D Live because they might ban me, and I can't put them on YouTube, so I'll get a strike like you got. So they're just hanging out. Like, I just
yeah,
have
that
these videos
sucks. I would love to see them though, but I did see a lot of pictures, and there was nowhere. It was standing room only for like a block out, at least as far as you could see, from the perspective of the person standing up on some steps.
Yeah, that's how it was. It took me nearly an hour to get in, because I showed up in, I think, the middle wave. I didn't show up at the very beginning.
Okay, so I'm sorry. You were talking in the beginning about you were there at the pre-rally the day before, correct?
Yeah.
What was that like at? So that was the 5th, correct? Like afternoon.
Yeah. You guys watched Baked Alaska's stream, right? Do you watch it on the 5th?
Portions of it, yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I was on it. I was on there.
Good shit. Yeah, Joe, you were here while we were watching it. It was just up on this. Maybe you weren't. I think you were.
Did you catch the part where that girl burned the BLM flag and then the cops came in and started pushing everybody around and knocking people over?
No, I didn't. I swear I hope somebody archived that, man. Because I'd like to watch the whole stream. We tuned in towards the later part, and there was... That's when he was arguing with the two older guys and walking around and stuff. Yeah.
The boomer.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I was there. Yeah, because it was on in the background and we were talking about something run related as it was playing. Sorry. So this bake stream that you're talking about, was that the 5th or the 6th?
He was there on both days. The one I'm talking about is on the 5th, because you asked me about the 5th,
okay.
And I was wondering if you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep on the timeline. Okay, sorry.
So on the 5th, the day before, during the daytime there was a big rally. There's a lot of speeches, and there wasn't like 1 million people. There's like, I don't know, 50 or 60,000 people, which was really big for a pre-rally.
No doubt, yeah.
And everyone's having a really good time in the daytime, and I'm hanging out, just with my friends, doing my normal thing. And then it starts to get dark, and that's usually when the marches start happening, when people get riled up and they want to march to BLM Plaza, which is next to the White House. It's where the Mayor Bowser painted Black Lives Matter on the road. So they want to march over there and chant USA and wave American flags, and some people want to fight Antifa. And before that, there's an interesting story later on in there. Before that, we were getting ready to march, and one of my friends, the girl, she's like, I'm going to burn the BLM flag, because they arrested Enrique, the leader of the Proud Boys, for burning the BLM flag last time, so now I'm going to burn it. And they get it out, they get it all set up. You got Owen Jones? No.
Owen Benjamin?
Who's Alex Jones?
Where?
Who's Alex Jones guy.
I know Ben Knight, or no, he got fired recently.
There's Owen.
Yeah, Owen.
I don't know these guys. It's Owen Schroyer or Owen Benjamin?
Yeah, Owen Schroyer. He's there.
There you go.
So we meet up. It's Owen Schroyer. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I can name her. She's Polish American Brotherhood on YouTube. She got pretty famous recently because she got beat up in New York. But that's another story. She's there. She's gonna burn the flag. Got Baked Alaska and Lulz and Wooza. They're all coming up to the live stream, and we get all set up. And I have her camera and I have my camera, so I'm just trying to get really good shots.
Motherfucking
and she lights it on
stream.
fire. Yeah, she lights it on fire, and it's just epic. She planned it really well. The flag goes up, the BLM flag just completely incinerates, and it's a nice little bonfire. Nothing's left of it. Everyone's cheering, and then the cops come out of nowhere and they're knocking people over, and they're yelling at the live streamers. They like I'm laughing because they pushed me really aggressively for me, and I saw them knock people over, and they came in real heavy-handed for the BLM flag.
Such bullshit, man.
Yeah, but then like people start yelling at the cops because like, what are you doing? You know, why are you beating us up? Why don't you do this when they burn the American flag? And tempers are getting really heated.
I know.
So
it's hilarious that BLM is just outright against police. You know, just full stop. Even if you're in the right, if you're in the wrong, it doesn't matter. They're anti-police, and then they want to. I don't know. It is funny how you can see the hypocrisy. It reminds me of how for 4 years they talked about, you know, Russia and all this shit, and with no bans or anything. Turns out all that was fake. And then, but if you say anything about the election, instant ban.
Yeah, you can question one but not the other. But I'm saying, but look how the narrative has changed about like, oh, thank God those Capitol Police were there. Those Nazis were gonna just destroy America, right? Like, look how quick the narrative changed about cops. Just in the public eye. Just turn on Twitter. Look how quick it changed almost overnight. You know?
Oh yeah, because they don't have this heavy-handed response when people are burning the American flag. They don't do that. So a lot of patriots are feeling betrayed.
Okay, so what happened after...
That was the event. Burning the BLM flag is what set off this big march. And a bunch of the patriots, it's like every single night at the Million MAGA marches they have it, but this one was just, it was bigger, people were more energized, and after the cops came in and knocked down a bunch of people and burned the BLM flag, a huge group just kind of spontaneously formed, and we marched over to BLM Plaza. Now usually at the previous marches at nighttime, there's a whole bunch of police out, and they block off the roads, and we march around and we try to get around the police, and then we chant USA for about an hour or two, and then everybody slowly kind of goes home. And that's how it's been. But this time we're marching there, and there's the line of police. I think it's going to be the same old, same old. And I'm watching as this line of police, they just start retreating. They go to the side of the road and then start waving us through into BLM Plaza. And I was thinking, this is really odd. This is the first time this has happened, and this is the biggest march that has happened in D.C. so far. So I started getting suspicions that there might be a bit of a setup, and I could go into that because I thought there was a lot of that the next day as well. So we marched through into BLM Plaza.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, we talked, Joe and I briefly. We've got a couple questions lined up, and we had a couple questions along those lines. Do you feel like there were a lot of...
Usually there's a really big police force. Usually there's a lot of cops out there. And we know that the D.C. police don't really like conservatives, but at least they do their job. And they do their best to keep two disagreeing groups from meeting. And it's Washington, D.C. They've been having these sorts of protests since forever.
Yeah,
so they know what they're doing. But since on the 5th and then the 6th, there was less security than I've ever seen before there for any march, even for Blexit. And I went to CPAC. There was less security in D.C. than when I went to go to CPAC. So it was just really odd. And I feel like somebody from the top made some decisions to try and make an event happen, to force an event.
Now, when did you start getting the idea that there was a ungodly amount of cops? Like, when did it set in? On the 6th or after the Capitol, after people were in there? Like, when did you get, like, the uneasy feeling?
Well, I got the uneasy feeling that night because I thought it was just really odd that these cops wave us through into BLM Plaza, and then we start having our big chants, and everyone's kind of going crazy, and everyone's real passionate. You know, there's a lot of emotion going on, and so we have that. And then fast forwarding to the next day, it's a really positive speech in the beginning. It was really positive the entire time, everybody out there on the National Mall. And it was even really positive when we were marching. For Trump
did his speech. Yeah, okay.
And it was even really positive marching on the Capitol building. So that it was all really positive, and there wasn't a bunch of crazy stuff happening. Then as we're marching there, I see videos starting to come out, and they're posted on social media. Some people are beginning to storm the Capitol, and there's some violence, and then it starts to get real interesting because while I'm walking there, I noticed that there's basically no police at all for a march. There's none. Usually there was a lot the last few times I was there. And I'm seeing on the videos, and this is 2020 hindsight when I get back, I watch more of the videos, and even when they start storming the Capitol, there's only like 2 or 3 cops out there in the front. That's not even how much they have during the normal times, during when there's no events. So it's like somebody decided that they're going to make something happen. But I'm walking there and I get up into the building, and you said earlier there's a standing room only, and yeah, it was. It took me an hour to get up these stairs, to get through this little hallway, because there's just so many people, there's nowhere to move. And I get out into the open foyer where they give the speech and they have the inauguration area that you've seen on videos from the last few inaugurations. And it's full of American patriots, just Americans everywhere. They're chanting USA and they're waving American flags. And then there's this smell of tear gas in the air, which is it's such a surreal experience to just have so much patriotism going on right there, and so many people loving their country.
As far as the eye can see.
Yep. And that I got a bunch of good video for that. And then I started going up the stairs farther, because they said if you go up the stairs, there's actually an entranceway into the building, and that's where a lot of people are trying to get through the police line. So I get up through those stairs, and this is where I got some of my best video.
Okay, real quick. Yeah, another streamer who shall not be named had a correspondent that was there. And while what you're saying was happening, they were at the Lincoln Memorial. And it seems like all of the action, so to speak, was in and around the Capitol, and everywhere else it was pretty normal, which is contrast to like other protests that we've seen earlier last year, where it would be like citywide, rambunctiousness.
Well, yeah, these are American patriots. They're not there to destroy the city, and these are intelligent, rational people who have legitimate grievances for the government, and that's what they expressed that day. They expressed their voice, they expressed their will of the people, and they made it to a point where these bureaucrats, these disconnected bureaucrats in government, Democrats and Republicans, can't ignore them anymore. They said basically to deliver a message to the people who have disenfranchised them and impoverished them, and said, we are very angry and we are very upset with the direction this country is going, and you're going to listen to our voices whether you like it or not.
So that was a question I had prepared for you, was, and I think you kind of answered it right then, was, do you think that there was more people there as Americans that were hired for 100 reasons, or do you think it was more people there to support Trump?
I think it's more people there to their grievances and for their love of America. Trump is just a messenger. I talked to a lot of people there, and they understood that Trump he's not Jesus, and he's not Caesar. And basically, Trump is supposed to be the guy to deliver this message to a corrupt, elitist group within our government, that the American worker and the American people have a lot of grievances, and we need to fix them. So I think it was about more than just Trump. I think it was a lot of American patriots.
That's what I wasn't there, but that's what I thought looking at the footage I have seen. Like, obviously, like, I'm sure there's a lot more footage than I'm seeing out there, but like that was my takeaway looking at some of the interviews, some of the conversations people were having, the people who were there and why they went, that were, just random people I didn't know. But then, like, it just seemed like that was a general thing where it was just like, no, this is almost apolitical. This is just, I am here as an American, and this is, like, I'm bringing a message to you, and that's all that this is. This is nonviolent, and we're just showing up in force to say, these are the people that you have screwed over in one way or another. Like, that's the feeling I got looking at the footage I've seen.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Okay, so, are you done? Can we ask questions, or was there? So
let me go on a little bit
stairs,
more.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, about this. I went up the stairs, And it's really hard to describe this place without somebody being there. But I mean, I'll do my best. So there's actually stairs behind the big forum, and I go up those stairs, and a whole bunch of people. I get up, and there's this line of riot police standing up there, and they're tear gassing and pepper spraying people, and the people are trying to get through the line, or they're yelling at the police, or whatever's going on. It's just complete insanity up there.
So not in the building, but outside, correct?
Outside, outside the building. It's like up on the very top floor because there's an entranceway up there, I guess.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
And I'm looking around these people, and it brings up the boomer thing we're talking about. A lot of these people are in their 50s and 60s. There's old men, there's little old ladies up there, and they're yelling at the police. And these are not like young men and
Activated.
women in Antifa and BLM. These are elderly people. And the cops are beating them, and this is surreal. I've never expected to see this in America, especially on the Capitol building. They have their batons out, and if they get too close, they'll beat them, and then they shoot tear gas down into the crowd, and there's so many people packed in, there's nowhere really for them to go. And it's all these boomers, all these elderly people just so angry at what's going on. They're getting pepper sprayed, they're getting beat. So I'm like, this is insane. So I got a bunch of, I was just there recording, okay?
So
I didn't go in the building.
Yeah.
I didn't fight the police.
That was very smart of you. What you just described, how long was that after the first person maybe crossed the police line or tried to really start pushing the line back towards the Capitol?
I honestly have no idea. Maybe an hour.
Oh, okay.
God, that's so quick. Like, really, the first barricade to get pushed back to an hour, to where after an hour you have people basically already in the building.
No, they really let it accumulate, for sure. I mean, they could have dispersed that crowd whenever they wanted to. I'm putting on my tinfoil hat right now, but this whole thing glows in the dark, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just tell you right now. We'll get into it later on as we go, but there are many indications, and this is part of the reason I wanted to have you on the show, is because I didn't go there. It would have been fun to go, but I can tell you right now I would have been in that Capitol building. And that's probably not
I think the same thing.
Not like the ideal. But that being said, I would have had a mask on. I wouldn't have torn anything up or destroyed anything, but I would have recorded a little video or something, just as a purely protest kind of ordeal. But it is a shame that so many of those people took the opportunity not to wear a mask, because now they're gonna really realize the effect of cancel culture under like a Biden administration, and that's gonna be very unfortunate. But oh shoot, I forgot where I was going with that. But the
not conspiracy.
Oh, the whole thing. Yeah, the whole thing glows in the dark. So about an hour after that happened, did the crowd pretty much start dispersing once they started cracking down?
Kinda. So the way that it went is there was a lot of people up there, and I don't know how much time passed. I pretty much said to myself, I'm gonna be here until the very end of it, and I'm talking with people and getting a bunch of great camera footage, and I'm just watching this insanity unfold. And at some point, the police, they got backup. And this is before the big heavy-handed crackdown. So it's still kind of bare bones, but they get another wave of police in, and they set up all their riot shields, and then they start pushing people back. So they have enough police finally to start pushing all the patriots, even though they're outnumbered, to start pushing them down the stairs. And this is where one of the deaths.
This is before they got the order, right? Because that was an hour and it took about an hour and a half for Pence or whoever it was to okay this. So there were multiple waves before National Guard then, right?
Well,
this is before the National Guard.
And I think Pence had made that decision like earlier that day, but they only decided to start disseminating the information. I can't remember. I feel like it was like
the National Guard showed up at the very end after everybody was dispersing.
I got you. It feels like they made that Pence announcement. God, it must have been an hour or two after the speech. They started
Okay,
trying
that's
to
what I
use
was
it
gonna
as like a
ask.
technique.
Yeah, whenever he gets done, I want to ask about that. So, sorry. We keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
So when they're pushing everybody, they get enough forces. They're pushing everybody down the stairs. They're shooting rubber bullets. They're tear gassing people. And one of the deaths of the guys who got pushed off the ledge, that's one that happened. And it's this guy. They're pushing everybody down the stairs, and there's no room. And he just gets the cops just push him off this ledge like it's a 40, 50-foot drop. Like what are they thinking when they're doing that? It doesn't make sense to me. You guys work at the Capitol building. You know how far that drop is, and instead of pulling him over and like even arresting him, you could have just arrested him or put him in the group and kept pushing him down these stairs. You just pushed him over the edge instead. So that was one of the deaths, one of the 4 deaths that happened.
I hope what's fucked about that. Were they all wearing like masks, and they weren't really identifiable per se, so the likelihood of any of them getting sued is going to be low, which is unfortunate because I'm sure many people have lawsuits that they would win if they knew who
but
was.
It's the same as BLM and before BLM, go back to 2018. Anytime there was riot control, the cops act as one. That's why they'll put the tape over the badge and or wear a mask, helmet, whatever you want to call it. But like there aren't the same legal ramifications what happens during a riot as there is during an arrest. That's why. Because it's absolute fucking chaos.
Real
but
quick,
that guy that died, is that on video?
Yeah, somebody got him on video.
Seen it.
I didn't get him on video though.
But it is out there.
Yeah.
Do either of you know if the Capitol building in particular, is that considered public property?
I don't think it
property
is.
Don't matter.
I imagine it's
like,
not,
a,
but it should
it's like
be.
a cultural, symbolic idea that it's the building of the people, but officially it's federal property. I don't think it's public.
Oh, federal property. That makes sense.
Yeah, you can't have technically the White House is in existence because of the public, but Joe Schmo, cannot go walk up in that shit and be like, give me a desk. I want, a percentage of a desk. I'm claiming part of the leg on this desk as my own. These are my taxes at work. Like, I can't. Hell, I can't even do that in Atlanta.
Some of that stuff in D.C., though, is public property, and then some of it is federal property. And I know there's various different. The question that comes to mind is whether or not those people were breaking the law. Because if it's public property, I feel like there's no, I mean the protesters. If it's public property, they had any right that they wanted to assemble there. Even if it's federal property, I think in protest there's probably some legal position that they have to be there. But it, depending on that could or could not justify any use of force, which would then, increase the liability on the officer. It's just.
Well, regardless of the property, if you show up as a riot, your intent is what you will be arrested for, not the grounds that you're on.
You're right. That's so fucked up. They can just call it a riot, and then all of a sudden it's all just like immune.
Well, they didn't do it during the summer, but I promise you those charges will apply for what just happened, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, what happened is a bunch of American patriots struck at the very heart of this corrupt, fetid swamp. So now these elitists in power are going to want revenge on them. A lot of people, they saw Chuck Schumer. He got on television later that night after the curfew. And he's like, these people have defiled our sacred chambers. And that whole statement just really made me think of, like, this is how they literally view us. This is how these people in power who are supposed to be representing us are how they see us. We're these plebiscites.
Yeah, it is. It's gross. And it's unfortunate that it's gotten to this place, but I feel like hopefully Trump, all the people that really hate Trump, at least they're paying attention to politics, and hopefully with enough time they gain wisdom to realize that, the stuff that they're supporting right now, even though it's fashionable and it's what's, quote unquote acceptable, it's not what's most logical. And so hopefully as they mature, they'll figure that out.
Hopefully.
But
So
yeah.
you were saying as they were going down the people were getting pushed off the steps. They were pushing the crowd back, rubber bullets, gas. How did they get the people out of the Capitol? Because like the people that were there, I mean, you saw all on the live feeds or whatever.
Yeah,
you saw people in there, and then you saw the craziness outside. How did they get those people out? Were all of them brought out violently, or did they just close ranks and start clearing one room at a time and pushing them outside without force? Or did you see that?
I'm not sure how they did it for inside the Capitol building. There's a lot of conflicting reports and a lot of conflicting videos about what went on in there. So I wasn't in there. I can't really comment a lot on what happened. But outside, there's a famous picture going around now, and it shows the Capitol building and the sun setting. There's a whole lot of smoke coming up, and it kind of looks like fire, but it's not. It's tear gas. That's how they started dispersing the main group outside, is they were firing indiscriminately tear gas down into there. They were hitting people with pepper spray and rubber bullets, and just hoping like that all that coming down will start getting them to move out, which it did. A lot of people started dispersing when they opened up fire. I mean, not real bullets, but when they opened up with everything that they had that was non-lethal.
So I went to Washington D.C. in I feel like it was like 8th grade. I didn't appreciate it enough, but how big is the Capitol building? It seems pretty massive,
pretty big.
Right?
Yeah. It's a massive building. It's like 3 buildings in one, in a way. If you ever go there, on the back end that faces the Supreme Court, there's main steps that go up into the middle, the biggest part with the dome, and then there's 2 side buildings on the left and right with separate steps that go up. So it's a really big complex.
Yeah. So to what you were saying, Joe, it was probably one side to the other, slow and steady, something like that, just kind of push them out. I imagine when most people that were inside got any kind of real force applied to them, they were like, okay, let's get out. Because, not a single priceless piece of art was damaged. Somebody stole AOC's shoes. But, other than that, it was just kind of
I can only fathom what those sold for. I'm still holding on to the idea that there's so much stolen stuff that trades hands privately.
Yeah, somebody's got a fucking shrine to those shoes, bro. Like a shrine in their closet with light on it.
Oh yeah, someone's going full-blown Hunter Biden, just orgasms multiple times a day. That someone has a foot fetish, and oh my god, them things are covered in jizz right now.
Yeah, they're probably ruined. They're probably just disgraced. But yeah,
maybe for the first month until the smell goes away, maybe he won't jizz on them.
Oh god, you built this whole character. this guy, this foot fetishist. Like, it's so funny to think of some guy kind of sneaking around inside the Capitol while this rioting's going on. He's like, I've got shoes on my mind.
This is one he came for.
Yeah, he's like sneaking. He did wear a mask. He was dressed like a fucking ninja.
Oh fuck yeah!
If you can find that picture with the Capitol building with the smoke, just send it to me. I'll throw it up on the screen. I tried finding it, but apparently it's very popular to take a picture of the Capitol at sunset.
Yeah, so as people were starting to get dispersed, did you get the general feeling that they were like, I came here, I did what I wanted to do, and I don't care about leaving because we made our point? Or was it a general attitude of, no, we're still fighting? Or I don't know how to phrase what I'm getting at. Like, did you get the feeling that it was being pushed back, or they were like, I made my point and I'm content with it?
Or like, how much resistance did they give them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there wasn't a lot of resistance. A lot of people were really upset about the heavy-handed crackdown, but there was still a lot of back the blue people in there, and for the most part, everybody was really respectful. And it's like you said earlier, there wasn't priceless art stolen, there wasn't smashed statues, they didn't have feces smeared on the wall like a pack of monkeys came through there. The people who entered the building
But there
were
was
really
some poop,
respectful.
from what I hear.
Yeah,
I heard there was some poop, not a lot, but some.
But it was like tactical. It was very tactical feces.
Yeah, it was an upper decker. But when they were dispersing, people, I got the feeling a lot of people felt really betrayed. A lot of people were really angry, but their anger wasn't at the police themselves; it's at the government, and they felt really betrayed by the government then. So when they started dispersing them, there wasn't a lot of fighting. The people did listen and go home, and they yelled at the police. Of course, there's videos of them yelling at the police, but they're not like we're gonna kill you kind of thing. Not like BLM or Antifa. And right when that started happening, when they got me off the steps, because I got pepper sprayed, I got hit point blank, and I mean I came out into this international Japanese news interview thing, so that's a different story. That's when all of the backup started showing up, surrounding the police department showing up. There were thousands of cops marching in. I think that's when the National Guard started showing up, and everybody got an alert on their phone. And you could hear it. It was like everyone had their phones blocked all day there. There was no reception or anything. And all of a sudden, everyone gets the same buzz on their phone, and you could hear it throughout the crowd that there's a 6 p.m. curfew in effect now.
Oh my God. That has got to be...
Like,
that seems like it would be extremely surreal to me. Anytime I think about something like that, or like the emergency alert system going off, or an Amber Alert, and everybody gets the same text, I'm always like... that's such a... raw image.
There wasn't
very dystopian.
You said that there wasn't cell service?
Yeah, through most of the day there wasn't
They shut that
any
shit
sort
down.
of any connection.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why a certain streamer who shall not be named, their correspondent wasn't able to actually stream for them. They just called on the phone and they would touch base every once in a while. But yeah, Verizon had no service. Yeah, Verizon, I believe T-Mobile might have had some service, but AT&T had no service. They didn't want and what's crazy is, like he's saying, there was no service all day, and then all of a sudden they pushed through a message and everybody got it. They decided that they were allowed to have service for whatever information they wanted to disseminate.
Because I mean, I would assume that this was a no data service. Like you can do calls, you could do text messages, but data's blocked. So straight up was like 3G, whatever it used to be. Like 15 years ago, where it's like you could barely. It's like when your cell phone's over your limit, right? Where it's like you.
Yeah,
I think get a picture through, but all you're doing is video and text, or calls and text, right?
I think all you get is like emergency
I was trying to upload
services.
my videos right then and there to be the first to upload, and I couldn't get any data through.
Oh, so
maybe that was a blessing in disguise.
It was only SMS.
No, absolutely fucking not. It's war. I mean, it's not war. Well, it's combat. I don't know what you would call it. It's not war, but.
Can you guys hear me all right? Your my connection is a little shitty, I think.
You haven't roboted.
Oh, okay, cool. We're good now. It's back to normal.
Say,
I've got that picture you sent on the screen. Yeah, that looks wild.
Yeah, that's lights, and that smoke is tear gas. There's no fires there. They're just shooting tear gas down in as much as they can put.
Wow. It's like perfectly timed.
And what's bullshit is I worked in Atlanta. I mean, like because of my job. I was in Atlanta constantly. I mean, I used to work in Atlanta every day. So never fucking once did they cut off cell phones, data, nothing. Not a single goddamn time my city was on fire. Never happened. CNN was on fire, which I mean, like you can make the argument they didn't know that was coming, right? But all the other ones after that, nothing. There was nothing. They never touched Atlanta. They may have done other cities. I don't know. But I can tell you, I was never once in Atlanta at 9 o'clock at night and lost service by CNN, Georgia Tech, the Capitol, all of us within 3 minutes of each other.
Yeah, it's like Grayson said earlier, very dystopian, very 1984. I mean, the fact that you pay for a service, and that service is just willing to be subjected to the will of whomever. Well, I mean, it is the government, so it's kind of hard to go up against them. But the fact that they will, well, I mean, let's be honest. They've been complicit in, not keeping our data secure since the 90s. I think if you're on, I don't want to say which network because I can't remember exactly which one it is, but if you've been on, X network, let's say it's T-Mobile or Verizon or something like that, they have metadata from everything you've ever done on your phone. They started keeping records in like the 90s, the late 90s or something like that.
Well, I mean, if you have a device with a battery, it is not secure. Like, it's straight up end of the day. If it
But
has
I mean, they
battery,
record. They don't record the content of your phone call, but they record the length, where you were, where the recipient is.
Oh,
it's metadata.
I assume that's
and they
all of
keep it on a ledger and give it to the government whenever they want. It's just to me it seems like a violation of civil liberties. Not only that, I mean, the companies that operate like this are monopolies, but yeah, the fact that they can arbitrarily just breach a contract, basically, it's bad.
Well, but yeah, okay, but when they update their, but their argument is, no, we were, too many people in one area, it overloaded the servers, we had to free up, blah, 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 because at the end of the day, okay, but whenever you did, okay, but whenever,
what do you think, Grayson? Do you think it was
maintenance? Did you get back on that?
Did you have signal issues at the other protests? I think you might have already said.
I don't remember. I think I had at the second Million MAGA March. I did have data. I remember the first one. It was really in and out. I had to leave a specific area to get data. I feel like this one was really noticeable because it was just like I couldn't get any data, period. And I remember the previous ones, I could at least get a little bit through. I could set something to upload and then put my phone away and expect in a while it'll be done. But this one was just 0% the whole entire time. It didn't come back until I left the area.
Let me ask you this:
What was the one that Ethan was at?
Oh wait, go ahead, Joe.
No, what was the one Ethan was at? Because didn't he live stream the entire time?
No, so he was in wherever he is during
Virginia.
this protest, yeah, which was probably advantageous for him. But was your phone, did it say searching or did it just have an X where you're...
No, it was still connected. That was a weird thing. I still had data.
Yeah.
It had full bars. It had a little 5G icon.
See, like, this is fucked, dude. It was just denial of service, basically.
Yeah, my phone thought I was connected.
Yeah, man, that's so gross. Here's a quick tip or trick for anybody. If you don't have data and you turn your phone onto airplane mode and then turn it off, it'll start searching for a data connection. And even if you're in the exact same spot, you might get it that time. I don't know why that is or how that happens, but the fact that it wasn't saying searching, so it wasn't like he didn't have data. He was still connected. It was just blocked.
Yeah, and I did the airplane mode thing too, because I know about that trick.
All right,
and it came back up, and it still gave me the 5G sign, but I couldn't get through any data. Like, I could still text, and I was able to call my friend, but no data, period.
It's blocked on their end. I can tell you, because of what I do, like when a cell tower is being worked on and you don't completely shut down the tower. You can have, like, your 911 lines operational and like the backbone lines operational, and then you can slowly start taking out the dishes and the boxes for the other ones for like residential normal people, right? You could have, like, we can hold our phone right up to it and it'll say like full service, because it does have service. It's just there's something wrong on the other end. So I mean, That's like when they're doing like a tower update, or like T-Mobile, Verizon's do like a software update that you don't know about. It's on their end, and it may
Yeah,
take
I
you
know what
out
you're
for an
talking about.
hour. But like, I've been in Buckhead with 5G, and I've not even been able to make a phone call. So I mean, it all goes back to the towers. It all goes back to their end, which obviously they were saying, no, we don't want people, communicating with each other. We don't want people, if you came prepared with, walkie-talkies, they're first off they're listening to it. If it's secure, you might get by for a little bit before they get into your line, but if you came with full mil spec, like a full fucking operation going, I promise, I hope, they either are aware of you or they will find out. But the average, group of boomers who are communicating through cell phones, those are the mass chunk of people. And those are the ones they want to stop. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm saying if you were on
Yeah.
the other
And
side,
if you think
you
about
would
like,
say, "Fuck that, nuke the phones.
if you think about
I'll take care of the walkie-talkies, but nuke the phones."
if you think about encrypted services like Telegram or Wicker or various apps like that, they all operate off of data.
Yeah.
So after
I did have
everybody
one.
started going away, well, real quick while we're still on that portion, do you based on your account of things, how do you feel like there were any bad actors there that were purposefully trying to like fuel the fire, so to speak?
Oh yeah, definitely. You have a group, you have a crowd this size. There are going to be bad actors in there, and we did have some confirmed Antifa infiltrators. But I really got to put forward, a lot of the stuff that happened at the Capitol was patriots, and it was a very American thing for us to do to go up and occupy this building that is for the people and make our voice heard, no matter what they're going to do, because these people came out because they love America and they sacrificed, a lot of them sacrificed their jobs, they sacrificed a lot of their relationships because people's tempers are hot right now, and a few people even sacrificed their lives. So we were knowledgeable about what we were doing, and the fact that we went up there even though with all of this risk. And I'm not talking about the people who stormed the building. I'm talking about the people on the outside who waving their American flags, who are making their message heard. This is the most American patriotic thing that has happened in this country for a very long time. So that's how I feel about it. There were some bad actors, but mostly this is all patriots. Okay, we're not going to hand this over and blame Antifa. These are Americans.
Very well said. I really like how you said that. Yeah, I it's my personal opinion that there were probably some people that all it takes is for one person to break a window or to rush the line or to push through a little bit, and then mob mentality sets in, and people might do stuff that, if they were individually there, they wouldn't make that same decision, but because of the influence of the crowd, they go a little bit crazier. It just takes out of, I wish I knew how many people were there, but the millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people that were gathered at the protest. At the front, there's probably only like 500 or 600 people, and if out of those 500 or 600, 5 people decide to all make a coordinated effort to rush the police line, everybody behind them is gonna follow. You said like the energy was electric, more so than even the night before, and compared to other protests of from the same people. I imagine did you see anybody that you had seen at other protests?
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually friends with a lot of the live streamers. I know Baked Alaska and Wooza, and I've met a lot of the America First crew a lot, and like Alex Jones. Not to name drop, but those those are the people that I keep seeing at all these previous protests. And there's a handful of regular people like you and I who were there, but for the most part, everybody that I met this time, and it just could be because of the sheer size of the crowd, were new. This was their first protest that they went to, and a lot of people, it was their first protest in their entire life.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's good that people decided to take that leap. Hopefully they didn't get, unpersoned. But I know if it was logistically more feasible for me, like if I had lived in one of the surrounding states, I probably would have made the trip.
Yeah, DC's really expensive to travel to and to stay in.
Yeah, there's that, and then I know Google Maps and I don't know if Waze did it, but other various GPS systems, they were like shutting down the GPS routes to DC if you were trying to get there that night.
Yeah. Waze is owned by Google Maps now, so the same source data. So yeah.
Google Maps, and then what's the other one people use?
Waze.
Is it Apple? Does Apple have a map, GPS service?
Yeah, Apple Map.
Apple Maps. Okay, yeah. But yeah, just I don't know how I'd get there, to be honest. I'd have to break out some paper shit.
Yeah, that's why I show up early. I show up a few days before these events because I know they always try a bunch of weird stuff the day before and the day on.
Did you stay in a hotel or like Airbnb, or do you know people in DC?
Well, the previous times I stayed in a hotel, but I've made a lot of friends in DC. And this is one of the great things about going to these events. Like I'm not extremely popular on the internet, but going to these events, I meet a lot of great people. So this one I was able to stay at somebody's house that I had met previously.
That's awesome, dude. And I feel like this movement in particular is you could trust that person. Can you imagine, trying to find somebody like, hey, are you going to fuck shit up at the BLM riot? Do you mind if I stay with you?
It's the culture and the type of people that these sort of movements draws. Our movement, the MAGA movement, the American Patriots, we don't draw people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol, who have all of these personal problems in their life and are part of these self-destructive behaviors. There are people like that who exist, but the draw is we don't draw those types of people, and BLM Antifa does.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember who it was, but they were on the kill stream, and
you took my joke.
Oh, what, you were gonna talk about that?
No, I was just gonna say, like, someone who shows up to say, I want America a certain way, doesn't attract those types, but I can think of another protest that kind of generally attracts those kind of people, especially people that also have shoe fetishes, but not the worn kind, the brand new kind with
the
tags.
New shoes. Yeah, that's I've never heard it. That's perfect, dude. But yeah, I mean, if you're planning to go loot or riot, I can't imagine that you would make many friends that you'd be willing to trust to have around you while you're asleep. Whereas, a conservative movement, at least, you have a baseline. If they don't, if they were to steal from you, it would be, they have a reputation to keep.
Yeah, I think your baseline's a little bit higher if you want to. I'll be blunt about it. I think you have a higher baseline for the general entry. Yeah, true. Yeah, because you would have. But it all goes back to why are you there ideologically, right?
Yeah, are you there to burn down America and steal, or are you there because you want to save America and make it great again?
Yeah. Oh, here's a question. Then we'll stop harping on something I'm sure you've told 1,000 times at this point. I think you answered all the questions I had already. Did you see a lot of children?
Children?
Or go under 14 and under.
Well, yeah,
not
earlier
TikTokers. If you're streaming, you don't count. But I'm saying like someone who's there with an adult to take care of them.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of children, but there's definitely enough there it was noticeable, and they were out during the day, in the beginning with President Trump's speech and Rudy Giuliani's speech. And I did see some of them marching to the Capitol, but for the most part, when I got up into the big, massive crowd, I didn't see any kids up inside with the big mass.
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
I was
because I mean,
muted for stream. That's good. Yeah, I never really got the people that would bring children to I could understand bringing your child to a protest, especially a conservative protest, because typically, you know, there's that whole thing. I don't even know if this is real, but it's definitely disseminated on Facebook a lot. It's two pictures, and the first picture says the Capitol building during BLM riots, and it's got a lot of people in full riot gear and everything, and then it says the Capitol building during on December 6th, and it just had a very minimal amount of cops, like you said. That could be total bullshit, as many things that are just spread all over Facebook is. But that's because conservative protests typically don't involve a lot of violence or destruction. So, you know, the response is, I think, in the beginning at least, was, you know, logical.
Yeah.
But that being said, you know, I think I retweeted something today, and it was just the various statistics over how, you know, the outrage is fabricated, that, you know, both Republicans and Democrats have condemned the people that were there, when in reality, so I mean, if you have a concert with that many people at it, some people are going to get injured. You know, massive groups of people are reckless and stupid, and that's just how it goes. And I think for a protest of that size, any numerical damages were pretty low.
Yeah, and comparatively, yeah, even to a rock concert, yeah.
I know, like, when Insane Clown Posse or some group like that comes to town, they have to, like, shut down the Walmarts and stuff because they'll they'll come and tear stuff up and shoplift and things like that. So it's just, I just say this because it's such a disgrace, man. From everything that you've told us, it seems like it was a pretty positive event, and they're calling people that, you know, that were there terrorists, and that's just so gross to me, because they're just you know, practicing their constitutional rights, just doing, you know, after all of this abuse, man, and they didn't even do anything too crazy. And it just goes to show you, like, no matter how optical you are, if you're as less optical as Baked Alaska or as optical as, you know, whomever you can think is that way, it doesn't matter. They're just gonna spin it. They're just gonna make you guys look bad. Us.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what I got watching the news. Is they're showing the same 15 seconds of footage they had on repeat, and I watched like an hour and a half, 2 hours of news to see what they're saying about it. And it's this bobblehead guy on the mainstream media telling everybody what to think about it. And I had this epiphany: is, you know, there's so much positive footage from this. There was immediately that night that they can't show anything more than 15 seconds on loop. And there's this guy, and he's like, these are domestic terrorists and insurrectionists. And if they showed any of the other footage, if they showed people who were the interviews or the stuff that was going on outside, like a lot of stuff that I got, they wouldn't have been able to lie about it being domestic terrorists, because people would see the video juxtaposed to what they're saying, and, like, you know, the news is lying to me. These people are not there to destroy the government. They're there because they have legitimate grievances they're airing.
And I feel like most people would agree with them. They're just speaking in a different language. And it's the culture of moral outrage and victimization and things like that, and cancel culture, that have contributed not only to their ability to do something like this, but the fact that, you know, there's probably a spreadsheet or a Word document out there with just exact instructions on how to manipulate the media to destroy someone's image. Like you said, people risked everything to go and do this, and I'm sure they were aware. I can't think of one conservative person who hasn't had somebody that they like get deplatformed in some type of way for just expressing political views.
Yeah. Even I have a ban campaign against me happening right now that my friend sent me. So it's
Yeah,
definitely
and
a
you're,
big thing.
how many followers do you have on DLive?
I don't know. I'm at 100 maybe now.
Yeah,
Maybe.
so it's not like you're out there, calling shots or anything. You're just sharing truth, basically. And they'll do anything they can to stop that before it gets to the point where there's any kind of influence.
Well, yeah, truth is dangerous to these people. That's why I'm on Instagram. Some guy started a thing and it's getting a whole bunch of shares. I just got messaged while we were talking by one of my friends that now it's on Chinese social media. So whatever they're saying about me, and I'm thinking, these people, they want to shut down these voices that disagree with them because truth is really a powerful weapon. And even if you're not a famous person, you don't have this huge platform, just by being an individual and myself and talking about this and doing what I do, I'm creating a change that they don't like. I'm creating a little bit in the world of where a resistance to their terrible dystopia they're trying to create. And just me, my voice all by myself is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, and I feel bad for the people that are conservative and all they want to do is, stream video games or make art or X, Y, and Z, and they just have a certain type of political position and they get banned too. It's not just the dissident right where people are out and proud about various political positions that they have, and maybe they don't even care about, what's quote unquote acceptable anymore. They may say edgy shit, but there's a lot of people out there that aren't and that don't say edgy shit, and they still get caught up in that cancel trap, so to speak.
Yeah, another thing I was going to bring up is following 2020, it's very apparent what, like anyone who was there was aware of the threat of being canceled, whether it's their job, whether it's anything along those lines. Everyone there knew full and well that that was a threat. You know what I mean? And then they still showed up. That says a lot. They wasn't the same threat in 2020 for the summer protests. No one got canceled for that shit. I'm not aware of a single person that lost their job. Well, I mean, a couple politicians got outed, and a couple lawyer aides or senator aides that it came out that they were there, but not a normal person.
Yeah, you didn't get put on the no-fly list.
Oh, that's I completely forgot about that. Oh man, what a joke.
I'm gonna find out if I'm on the list too, because now that this ban campaign, it's getting really big, and it just kind of happened last night and today, where I have to check out if I'm on a no-fly list, because they're really determined to shut me down right now, because people are really, really angry and hateful at me.
Oh yeah, do you have your footage backed up somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I want to see it, but I definitely, I won't post it anywhere or anything, but I don't want it to be lost forever, which is unfortunately totally within their capability.
Yep.
What were you saying about if you're done with the Capitol, I would like to move on to what about the no-fly thing? I don't know anything about this.
Oh, you didn't see any of that? Mr. Twitter didn't see anything? Bro, they were.
I don't get on Twitter anymore. I live on fucking Discord.
Oh, true.
I'm full blown.
Full blown Discord.
Which is why I've been pushing you to go to Entropy.
Yeah, we're live on Entropy, by the way. Please use Entropy chat. You can say whatever the fuck you want if you're into that sort of thing. But it's live right now. Also live on DLive, YouTube, and Trovo. That's what we're going with, the trifecta. But yeah, so people were getting carried off of airplanes and stuff. Because if they could confirm that you were there on the 6th, they put you on a no-fly list. Because they were calling them terrorists. I'll send you some of the clips, man. It's bad. Yeah. I mean,
These are like old ladies and moms that are on the videos too.
And so they're taking their kids away from them and like all of this crazy shit, just for going to a protest. That definitely didn't happen.
Didn't the feds do that for ICP? I didn't realize being on the dissident right was made us a gang. Who knew?
Oh yeah, man.
And we don't even have the Proud Boys tattoos. Think of that.
I know, we're not even level 2 Proud Boy. Most everybody's not even probably level 1 Proud Boy.
I am level 7 Scientologist, thank you. I got the goddamn pamphlet and the book.
Oh, that's a LSD or LDS or whatever. LSD church.
LSD.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, hopefully not, dude. That sucks. And yeah, these people, bro. I wish it's this welfare state that we have where they don't have jobs. That's why they have time to make these coordinated efforts to deplatform people and ruin their life just because they disagree. That's so I'd like to think that if I was like super leftist, even if I was like pro-communism or pro-anarchy, that I wouldn't give a shit what other people's opinions were. And if I really hated them, the last thing I'd want is for them to be censored, because then I would have no way to know what they're doing or, you know, what their plans are and that sort of thing.
Yeah, true.
It just seems counterintuitive.
Actually, Ashley Fairbanks said this, and I agree with her, is that what they've done to President Trump for the last 4 years and what they've done to his supporters is now we, as Americans, have to put somebody into office who pretty much embodies all of this stuff that they accused onto President Trump. We need to put somebody into office who is 100 times meaner, who is 100 times more vindictive, and 100 times more authoritarian to actually crush these people. And I agree 100% with that we need somebody in office who has the backbone to sacrifice blood for the Tree of Liberty.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but more than likely true. So yeah, thank you for coming by. We're just gonna keep going on. We could actually get to know you as a person a little bit more, not just you as the dude that was there at the time. What do you mostly stream about news, right?
Yeah, I talk about the news and politics and my views on culture.
That's cool. Do you ever take guests or anything like that?
No, and a lot of that has to do because I'm like boomer level when trying to do the tech stuff. I use Streamlabs OBS, but
Me too.
I'm really terrible at setting everything up. And I finally got it to work, and maybe I'll do guests in the future, but right now it works, and I'm not going to change any settings on it.
Dude, seriously, do not. And if anybody tries to tell you to download Voicemeeter, tell them to go fuck themselves. Because that is like
that a bad one?
Well, Voicemeeter is like this audio thing that a lot of people use, but it does not interact well with many apps. And if you don't get the paid version, you'll sound fine to yourself, but you'll be sounding like trash to everybody else. And I'm the type of person, I'll let you know, because I know if I sound like garbage, I want someone to tell me. But most people, they'll just assume you have some $5 microphone. Yeah, with Discord, if you have Discord makes it really simple, but they have a lot of, I think, shout out to our boy Mundane Matt. He was using something where you could I think it was like $10 a month or something like that, but it gave you the ability to stream to this URL, but people could just call in and it would stack them up in a queue and you could just bring them in as you wanted. But they've made it really easy. Let me ask you this, is your microphone USB or XLR?
USB.
Yeah, that's the way to go, bro. A lot of OG streamers and podcasters that I know and listen to, they try and do XLR, and that is just the worst thing you can do. Like, you're not recording vocals for music. You don't need the range that an analog microphone is going to give you. You just need clarity, which you can do with a high quality USB mic. But if you ever need stream tips, let me know. I think Entropy would be a good thing for you to do, because it's very easy to set up, and it's not like an extra thing you do. You just turn it on after you start streaming, and then you have all these unmoderated or uncensored chat. There's a bunch of different, I think even Entropy Stream has a call-in feature that you might be able to use, but you can put polls on there and all kinds of things.
Cool.
More importantly, I have a very serious question for Mr. Grayson. Would you rather suck a 5-inch dick or an 8-inch dick if you had to?
I'd choose neither.
Neither. He's going with the dingo route, ladies and gentlemen. This is like,
yeah, but you have to. You have to pick one and then explain the logic.
If you're in a situation where you have to suck a dick, you really gotta be looking back at life.
Yeah, we'll explain to you like the cultural significance of this in a moment. But yeah, if it's like a gun to your head situation,
I'd probably just get shot then.
Dang, dude. Yeah, he's going full dingo.
Well, there's a thing, right? You could build bridges your entire life, but if you suck dick just one time, you're gonna be known as a dick sucker for the rest of it.
That's true, and that that does speak to the broader point of the subject, that coalescing in with either way, and to not kind of forge your own path in life, is ultimately going to be cucking in some regard. That's just like, so this is like an allegory to how Richard Spencer voted for Joe Biden because he was more of an accelerationist.
What the fuck?
And
Richard Spencer's a cuck.
Yeah. So there's this.
By the way, just for the record, I asked everyone this. I'm not trying to slide in your DMs, just for the record. This is something that's asked of every guy. So
yeah,
you're trying to get in my DMs with it. You're like, is this the one?
We got him, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, I forgot. I have a soundboard, but I haven't even been using it. But yeah, we had a guy named Dingo on there. But so I guess the 8-inch cock would be the going like full Democrat, and the 5-inch cock would be going full magatard. But yeah, like when Richard Spencer came on the kill stream and was talking about how he was voting for Biden and all of this stuff, there was a like post-show discussion about it, and it got brought up to this guy who calls into the kill stream a lot. His name's Southern Dingo, who refused to answer the question, by the way. Said neither all the way. So going dingo is acceptable. I mean, that's probably the most logical thing.
Nah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I personally picked the 8-inch dick, even though that doesn't line up with how I view it in real life. But I took it way too literal, so I'm stuck with that forever.
You might as well enjoy it. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, I was thinking less cock in my mouth. Like if it was 5 inches, it would almost be like it would be expected. I don't know what I was thinking, but I just said like the first answer was 8 because I'm like, you're never gonna do this again, so you might as well just fucking do the thing that other people do. Because I mean, like, what if you like chomp out? It is gonna make your life a lot easier, to just be, oh yeah, Trump, what a loser, he's racist, and yeah, I love X, Y, and Z, and what was it? Interracial gay couples making Cadbury egg commercials. That's what I love.
How did you get that from an 8-inch blowjob?
So that's you commented that on the Discord.
What the fuck is going on in your head tonight?
Grayson, please do not scroll up in the general on this Discord. There's a bunch of horrific shit on there. But that being said, there's been a bunch of horrific shit, and I posted this Cadbury cream eggs. They started an ad campaign where they had an interracial gay couple, and it was very sexualized. And I posted that, and Joe's like, "Get this filth out of here." We have all of this disgusting, like, genital mutilation fetish stuff on there, but he's like, interracial gay couple sharing a Cadbury egg. That's too much.
No, fuck that. I don't mind if someone cuts their dick in half and pierces it back together, but you showed two guys eating candy. I'm like, I fucking burn it. Goddamn burn that shit.
You don't eat
I'm
candy
digging
with
this
your
fucking
buddy?
post. Say what?
You don't eat candy with your friends like that?
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't say, oh, hold this piece of candy in your mouth and let me just get a little nibble.
The only time that ever happens is if you and your girl are out and someone dares you to do it with another girl and you end up taking her home. No part of me having a beer at a buddy's house involves that, ever.
Yeah, I can't.
That's not my lifestyle, but I didn't protest last year, so, you know, I'm different, I guess.
Just funny how they, like, and it shows you how how they think and operate. I mean, so you've got gay people, which is probably less than 10% of the population, and that's being, like, real generous. And then you've got interracial gay couples, which is probably down into, like, the 2% range. And they're using this as they probably spent so much money on the production and, you know, marketing of this ad.
No.
And it's just, you know, they're pandering to all the people that think that's the popular thing to do, or that's what's best for our society. I have no problem with that, honestly. If you want to share candy with your black and or white boyfriend, that's fine with me. But to use it to try and make money, it's very scandalous. Were there black? Did you see a lot of black Hebrew Israelites there?
Oh yeah, did you see them?
No.
Fuck, I wanted to know if they started chanting and praying. And like people were, well, there's no boot kissing there. But it would have been interesting. I would pay good goddamn money to take Medicare out of wherever the fuck he is hiding at right now.
Out of whatever ICU he's in, unfortunately.
Nah, he's not in the ICU right now.
Hopefully. He's in the hospital?
No, I'm saying he's not. He's been posting recently.
No, I meant, well, okay, when you said he's not in the ICU, I thought you meant he's just in, like, the general medicine unit now. Please no wings, Medicare, please no wings.
No, he already said he wasn't going to do the IV and he wasn't going to do the pills. He just said he was going to do...
radiation?
Yeah, he said he refused to do the fucking IV, though. He was like, I'll fucking die before I do that. Now, I don't blame him. I've known someone who went through that, and it's goddamn horrific. Real quick, homegrown terrorists, how do I get on this list? Like...
Oh, you want me to send you the link? Maybe you could get on. Here, I'll copy the link. Copy link.
I mean, two things. I like your beard. What product do you use?
It's all natural.
Damn,
so
full oil? No wax?
No.
No oil.
Doesn't that just make you jealous as fuck, dude? I look like Assalamu alaikum, like whenever I grow my beard out, because it's just so, like, it just curls up and shit. Oh man, unless I use some kind of product.
I just sent you the Instagram link in the chat, so you can check it out. I'm actually a little bit proud of this. You know, these people, they want to make fun of me, but they literally chose my best picture. They're like, we're gonna make fun of this guy by choosing his best picture, and then we're just gonna say something really stupid underneath, like he's too patriotic.
I like how the video they did, he said, I showed up to protest, they maced me, they started it. And they're like, look at this terrorist. Fucking
dude,
really?
honestly,
like
that is I would be proud of that too.
That's it? He took a postcard? Do you know how many car dealerships got burned down to the ground? I mean, you talk about small American
Oh my
Like,
God,
the
ladies and
perfect
gentlemen.
small business, right, is a used car lot, right? Like a guy who flipped a couple cars when he was like 18. He started flipping more, working on them, making friends, knowing how to buy cars at an auction. And now he has a car dealership, and they like to me that is like the perfect, or like a bakery, or you know what I mean, like just those perfect American small businesses, right? Someone that like
I
you just
know.
he struggled
That's
to get
what
his, or
that's
it's
what that
built on
person
his dad's
said.
back.
And Joe's
Yeah, and
fucking
then
practicing alchemy right now. Dude,
oh, yeah.
they really are trying to cancel your ass, bro. I thought I was like, when you said that, I was like,
You should be proud.
yeah.
Print this off and frame it.
Yeah,
If
no,
I
100%.
I'm going to.
send you money to frame this, if I send you
I'm
money,
gonna
will you frame
screenshot
this?
it too.
Yeah, I was
Do you
gonna
care if
frame
I
it
put
anyways.
this
You
up
don't
on
need
the
to send me any
stream?
money. What?
Do you care if I put this up on the stream?
No, put it up. Put it
Oh
up because
my
it's a
God,
really
this
good
is
picture.
baller,
These people are
dude.
dumb.
This is like Frank Lucas baller. Oh my God.
Tomorrow when I live stream, I live stream at 5 p.m. General Mountain Time. When I go on, I'm gonna read a whole bunch of the comments, the choice
No, yeah,
picks.
do it. That's a good
Because
idea.
it's just so dumb. Like these people.
Hang on. 5 p.m. Eastern?
General Mountain Time, GMT.
I think that's like 7
1 hour
for you.
behind?
Is it 1 or 2?
I'm in the right time zone. Whatever time zone
Yeah.
I'm in is the right time zone. That's what the fuck it is, goddammit. Are you in California
I hate that with
time?
the time zone thing.
General Mountain
Are you-
Time.
California is 3, so you're 2 or 1. That's all.
Sing
Yeah,
your
I'll
song.
listen. What
Sing your
platform?
time zone song.
Fuck you. I don't
Yeah,
even
go
know
ahead
that.
and,
I don't know the fucking...
Go ahead and plug
I'm
your
on
plug your
D-Live.
stuff while this is up on the screen because this is
Are
amazing.
you on D? Do you have a backup to D-Live?
No, it's my only one.
Are you
might
banned
wanna
on
look into
YouTube?
it.
No, I'm not banned on YouTube.
Okay,
I'm not
buddy.
banned on anything right now.
We're gonna get you.
I-
We're gonna get you up to speed. We're gonna make you accounts so that they can get banned. Basically, unfortunately, with this type of traction you have, but yeah. If you go to sign up to something called Restream.io, it's free to do most of the major streaming platforms, but you could stream to DLive and YouTube at the same time. And the cool thing about YouTube is you have your replays for, you know, until you get banned, or if you lose something you can download them back. But that's what I do. I also do Trovo because I play video games on there from time to time, and I don't know that they keep replays, but YouTube will be reliable, consistent, and also easy for people to find until, you know, you get yeeted, which that's what I've always assumed is going to happen for mine.
Well, okay, but look at who just got banned, right, on D-Life. You had the only people who are left that I know of is Andy Worski, Slippin' Lizard from Plaid Army Crew, and...
And to be fair, Ethan's
it,
suspended. Right? He's not banned forever.
Again, but that was the canary in the coal mine, right? They nuked him midstream. They got Raging Humanist. They waited until he was over to get the money.
Ghost Politics is basically gone.
Yeah, the top 20 streamers on D-Live got nuked in the last 72 hours. Not top 20 political, the top 20 period. Like, Red Ice has been gone. Fuentes is fucking gone. I mean, like, there's no one left. Like, they made their fucking point. Because all this goes back to bait, and it goes back to, it's coming down the pipeline, and, I mean, just go to, I mean, like, me personally, I'm pushing on Entropy. I'm hoping everyone goes to Entropy, because if everyone starts getting banned, and everyone starts scattering to different places, they won. They got exactly what they wanted. They chased us until we scattered.
You can't use Entropy if you don't have other streams. Like, Entropy is just an overlay. So, like, you have to stream from...
where everyone's...
You have to stream from DLive, YouTube, or Twitch to be on Entropy. It's just an alternative chat.
What I'm saying, but if you have a Entropy account, then everyone can be found in one location. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you make an account with Entropy, you can find everyone that you know.
Yeah, more than likely. If they have an entropy account, they're probably legit.
I mean, there's that too, yeah. But I mean, if they're trying to cancel you,
Yo,
I would
and
at least back it up
to be
somewhere.
honest with
you
you,
can download it from YouTube, right?
I'm sorry, say that again?
If you're uploading to YouTube, you can download it, and that's how you re-upload it to
BitChute. Yes, I do.
Yeah, BitChute's a cunt, but I mean...
I do... Yeah. It depends, because when I was saving my streams in MKV, they were much lower quality. So I switched it to MP4, but I still feel like the YouTube streams are... I don't know. There's something about them, the way they're compressed. It just... They upload faster. And I think because it's... I don't know. But yeah, most... That and then the fact that it's like a backup.
Rage has been trying for 2 days to upload one stream, and it's never gone through.
Yeah, well, BitChute's very hit and miss. BitChute is a very hard... I don't think I've ever had... You know, the last thing I uploaded on BitChute, it was a Fuck Around Tuesday episode. It was that Baked Alaska episode. Or one of the Baked Alaska episodes, because I unlist them on YouTube as soon as they go up. That was like one of the only ones where it uploaded right away. But I feel like now that there's so many people on BitChute, you might run back into, having to try it 3 and 4 times. And when you have a 2 or 3 hour stream, it's not a small file. But
okay, you do.
Yeah, sorry, Grayson. They're not even. These jokes are not even good, dude.
Like, I know, that's why they're funny.
Yeah, some of these are actually compliments, and they don't realize it. God damn, I'll be there at 5 o'clock. Whatever time
and
we
you know
start,
what's
I'll
fucked,
be there.
bro? Your suit's not even ill-fitting. Like, when I went to the Dick Show, Road Rage Tampa, I wore this beautiful suit with a vest, and it was like jacquard paisley, and it was red, and it fit really well. Even though it was off the rack, it still fit really well, and I knew all the rules about tie length and buttons. And what's really important is if your shirt extends past your jacket. That's super important, and you see a lot of people fuck that one up. And you can see your cuffs coming out in this picture, and your shoulders aren't too fucked up, and you're sitting down, which is not a great position to be photographed in a suit, and it looks fine. And you can just tell these people are so focused on image and shit like that, they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about.
No, they're grasping for straws. Look at on the right side of the picture where that shoulder is. That is a perfect line for the suit jacket.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, it's not crumpled.
Suit, man. I found that. Okay, hold on.
I've seen fucking congressmen in worse suits. I've seen Donald Trump in a worse suit. I'm serious. I mean, he's fat as fuck, but.
Hang on. Hey, you wait.
Yeah, we'll get a late. Man. Oh, I'll do it.
Okay.
I gotta mute.
If this guy hit on you, is that suit, that outfit, is that attractive to you?
For you just.
Oh no, he's asking a female.
That's the guy I'm talking to. Like, do you like that picture? If he hit on you, and you weren't married or whatever, is that attractive to you? Is he well put together? Well taken care of. Would you fuck him?
Do you think this guy looks good?
Okay, so she said that you look cute, but she's unsure of fuckable. So you got 1 out of 2.
Yeah, it's the beard. The beard is you gotta have a personality with it.
Well, she's attracted to beards.
The shoulders are all straight and stuff.
That was cheating.
No, it looks,
Alright.
I mean, I like the color, I like the cut and everything there. It looks really good.
True. Would you fuck him? Oh man, she didn't immediately say no, so that's a good one. That's good though. I mean, that's like not ideal for me, but I'm getting smacked. That's a good sign. No, dude, that's a good picture to be on a fucking terrorist Instagram page. I mean, they did do you kind of nice for that. To be honest, you look very similar to me, so it was like a.
Who is? Do you realize both of you guys could hit on Shoe One Head and possibly bring back a flashback fuck, right?
Oh God. I'm not like a wig maker, dude. I mean
that as a compliment. No, I mean, I do not like his personality. but there are similarities. I'm telling you, if you found Shoe on Head drunk at a bar, you might be able to pull it off.
Yeah, both of us are trad and have ladies in our lives already. But yeah, the sentiment is nice.
What I find interesting on this Instagram is that I don't know if this is good or bad, but maybe it's in there. I don't think they linked your account.
No, they didn't.
I know, they didn't even link your D Live.
They got this picture
Are
from.
they?
Not only are they fucking incompetent, they're
Too
lazy.
stupid?
They're lazy, if not stupid. You still there,
Me out
Grayson?
there that they could have picked that look a lot worse.
Yeah, true, for sure. I just wanted to point that out. Let's see. This is a pretty cool page.
Yeah,
I think they're just dumb.
This is incredibly impressive.
I'm so sick of these people. Their memes are bad. They're snitches, bro. I mean, honestly, like, I don't care. Like, if I saw somebody I knew blowing up a car during a BLM riot, I'm not gonna like put them on.
It's not funny.
I wouldn't put them on Instagram and curate a page based on trying to tell on people. You guys still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There might be a bit of a delay. But the fact that someone has time to make a page like this is just unfortunate.
Well, okay. I mean, I'm against this, but at the same time, there are groups on the other side too, right? Like, this is their job. This is a known Antifa participant. They are a child's teacher. They teach, kindergarten at the following school. If your child is at this school, you should be aware that this is who's teaching your child. Now, keep in mind, we're not canceling these people, but I don't know. I mean, the argument is, it goes both ways, right? I mean, it's information warfare. I mean, this is the day and time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for what you just messaged me, for everybody who's listening, people are trying to dox the company that I work at, and they don't really know that I actually own my own company.
Oh, I need to speak to the manager. I am the manager.
I am the manager.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a good position to be in.
Do you know how much butthurt there is that they are angry at capitalism because they work at McDonald's, and you have a guy that has a suit on that does that for a living? Do you know how much anger is coming? Oh, okay, but I'm saying less information. But I'm saying, if they thought that is where you worked, not owned, do you know how angry that would make some people?
Well, no.
Whoa. He throws hay and he has a goddamn suit? Fuck him! You know what I mean? Like, that's a thought.
You know what's hilarious about it? Are you familiar with the whole cuties debacle?
God damn it, why are we doing this?
Huh?
Netflix and cuties?
Yeah. So somebody made a shirt, and they were just fucking around. It said, I watched Cuties, and all I got was this lousy erection. And it's like an arrow pointing down. It was just a joke, but like the people, I can't remember who made that shirt, but the same thing was the case with them, is they own their own company, and people like found out what it was, and they sent him, emails and stuff talking about it. And it was the same thing. He owned his own company, so it was just like a moot point.
Probably increased his money.
Yeah, I mean, just social media buzz.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, it's just a joke. I mean, whatever. Welcome to the internet at its height of 2006, where everything was a rape or bestiality joke, so it's a joke. I mean, they capitalized on the fact that everyone was outraged, and most people would not buy that shirt, but there are some people who would, just for the fuck of it, you know what I mean? So, fuck it, he cashed in on it. Like, I can't get mad at the guy, The only person attached to that controversy was the guy that was on Killstream. That is the only person that I've seen attached to that movie that I can look at and say, I distrust them for their opinion. You know? I could even say to the director to a point that if you directed that film, if you wanted to point out that society is fucked up and they just didn't direct it the right way, you could give me an argument that I would listen to that, hey, they were trying to bring attention that there are problems in our society and we should be aware of them as parents or, fellow teenagers, whatever, however they're looking at this and saying, well, they just handled it wrong. It came across weird. They had the right idea, but the guy that did the editing made it kind of creepy, or however you want to put it. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's in the eye of the beholder. But the T-shirt alone is not bad. That's my take. But I also think if you are attracted to children, you need to find a very short rope on a tall tree, but that's just me.
Yeah, I tend to take the biblical approach with that, a millstone tied around the neck and then cast into the deepest lake.
So on that, on that Instagram page, under the identified tab, they have a guy, they have his name as Will Pepe, and I'm wondering if this is like a troll or something like that. Will Pepe. But, I mean, they posted where this guy supposedly works, so hopefully it is just a troll, but this is doxing, man. This is, like, a bannable offense on, if any one of us were to do some shit like this, it'd be goodbye Flo and Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It really depends on who's doing the doxing, though. If it's the right or the left, and if the left does it, it doesn't go against the terms of service.
Yeah, it's just pointing out a problem in the community. That's how it's looked at. But if we do it, it's, oh God, you guys are prone to violence. Therefore, you're inciting your violent followers. Therefore, you're openly advocating for violence. But if the left does it, it's like, well, it's just community service, guys. That's all it is, just community service. We didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
But with that said, though, I don't want to subscribe to the page, but I do feel like just finding the people that they don't like and just adding them as friends.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to look through this. Lucky for me, this page probably won't get taken down anytime soon, so I can sift through it at my leisure. I'm used to, like, when I find something that I'm like, oh, I gotta fucking archive this and mad dash through it before it gets taken down. But I might even make, like, a video on this. I've been wanting to make more pre-recorded content, but it's just very involved and takes a lot of prep work to... I'd rather play some shitty card game on on Trovo, but yeah, this almost warrants it. I mean, they've just got a ton of, I don't know. It's so crazy that these people, whomever made this page in the story portion of the Instagram, somebody asked why they did this, and they say, quote, I snapped out of paralysis and began grabbing screenshots and posting. I couldn't just sit by and watch. I needed to channel my energy and anxiety into something that could help. Well, what the fuck do you think the protesters that were there were doing? Okay, they see their entire liberty being stripped away, and they're just trying to do something to help. And now you're directly taking the same thing. They were feeling the same thing that you were feeling, and you're directly trying to unperson this person, get them fired from their job, fuck up their whole life. They just have an astounding lack of empathy. I can't even believe it.
Yeah, let's not forget that they literally have on here is the guy who was arrested for wearing a hoodie. The Camp Auschwitz hoodie, the super, super evil guy, the guy who's arrested for a fucking shirt. That sentence alone is fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
I've seen this
even
guy
if I
blasted
don't...
all over the social media this last week. Is look at this guy, and you're like, and? Like, have you ever thought that maybe, fucking just maybe, he may not be a denier or a truthist or, you know, a correctionist, if you want to go kind of where I am, but maybe it was just a bad fucking joke. Maybe he really believes the number that, you know, a certain country out in the fucking East gives us. You know what I mean? What if he truly believes that and is just like, hey, I'm actually Jewish. I have a black sense of humor.
Why would you want to censor that person? You know what I mean? If they are if you stand for everything that you stand for, why would you want that person to not identify themselves to you? But, you know, it causes the most pain and destruction, so they just typically go with that idea. So would you say,
if
like,
I wear a shirt that says "Death to Cops," it's louder, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Would you say the Black Lives Matter flag burning was that your favorite part, or did you have a different one?
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I
That's
even
crazy.
liked when the cops came over and went insane about it because you know it wasn't a positive.
That's how you know you're doing something right, buddy.
But yeah, it was like that. No, I'd say my favorite part was getting up into, not inside the Capitol building. I got to make that clear to people now because they're all going insane. And I might troll people later on about it. But getting up onto the Capitol building and just being surrounded by all those American patriots. And I sent you the videos on Telegram, looking out and seeing this endless stream of people, millions of people waving American flags, saying they love America. I'd say that was my favorite part.
We have a
to me,
viewer.
This seems like it would be breathtaking.
We have a viewer named Del. I think his name's Del Frickin' Tree. He changes it on Discord from time to time, but he was talking about, even though there's tons of black pills going around, it seems like it's doomsday and whatnot. Although all of this is happening, eventually all those people are going to die, and the American spirit is still going to be there. And hopefully we have everything set in place so that we can kind of migrate back to just, honestly, just abiding by the Constitution. We're not even asking, well, we are asking for reform, but in a sense, just to go back to how it was, where everything was equal and everything was fair. That's all we really want.
Yeah, I just want to grill, basically.
I just want to grill, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, think of it this way. As of right now, he's still the president of the United States. That if you would have said 10 years ago that if you came out in support of this standing president of your country, that you would be deplatformed, fired, etc. Not a opponent to the president, but the actual president. Do you know how insane that is to say? I mean, because you're literally saying, I support someone the public supported as a whole. But more people in the community supported one person, and I'm one of the populace that believed in this guy enough to give him a vote to say, you know, I hope you do what you're going to say you're going to do. You know, I hope you do the right thing. That you would be fired from your job for saying that. That's fucking insane.
Were you guys... Hold on a sec. I don't want to be super offensive. But I wonder if... supporters...
Like, I know the message is not Trump anymore, but I'm just saying in itself.
I don't know if
it's insane what's happening in this country.
Were you guys, like...
Raising about borders?
Were you guys, like, old enough to be around when Reagan was getting impeached? Or you guys were probably little babies, right?
How old are you?
Jesus.
No, I'm
like
younger
40?
than you two. Yeah, I'm 12.
You 14?
12.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Reagan was like 84 or something.
No,
He got
I've read
impeached
about
in
it.
89,
I don't
I
remember
think.
Reagan.
I wonder what it was like to be a Reagan supporter during that time. Like when he's getting impeached, I wonder if people, I don't think they stormed the Capitol or anything, but I wonder if like his supporters were shamed.
Ronald Reagan got impeached? What?
Right? Or am I thinking of Nixon?
No, are you thinking about Bill Clinton?
Nixon.
Or Richard Nixon?
Clinton.
No, Richard Nixon. So even older. Hey, were you guys alive when Richard Nixon was around?
No, my dad doesn't remember that, I don't think.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why fucking Reagan. Why did I think Reagan? He should have been impeached, but anyways. Yeah, so he was like one or two presidents before him. To be fair, like, Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon are both part of that motherfucker. What was that place that Alex Jones snuck into?
Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, they've both been photographed there. That maybe is why I confused them. But I wonder if, people that were Nixon supporters when he got impeached, were they like publicly shamed? Or did they kind of go into hiding, or were they still allowed to have their opinions?
It's a good question.
I'm going to have to find some ancient person to tell me about this.
I mean, I'll ask my dad tomorrow, but I mean, I'm sure that it was a different time, too. Because, I mean, you had people who, it was a mixture of you could talk politics with your friends, you shouldn't do it with your guests. Walter Cronkite wasn't smoking crack on Twitter, talking about, the opponents should be drug out and fucking massacred in the street. I mean, the news was very different. I'm sure most people probably either took the stance, well, that guy's just a dirty politician, or they said, well, I don't know, let's see what happens, let's see what the news says tomorrow about what really happened, right?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't,
I don't think I'm romanticizing the past by saying it was less violent politically between the two parties.
But people were less, I feel like as social media has gotten to be a thing, people were they were slower to judge a situation. They didn't just assume the first thing that they read was the true thing. If it sounded a little weird to them, they would call someone on the telephone or, try and get more information about it. It wasn't like this culture of where you read a headline and then you have your outrage and you Google it and you just look at the first page of Google. And
it took months for a story to come out fully, right?
Yeah,
it was
a little bit slower.
Look at how long did Watergate take? That took months.
Well, it escalated.
Months.
It escalated to the point where the administration resisted the probes, and it led to a constitutional crisis, basically. Let's see. Yeah, so the actual break-in happened in June 1972, and the actions against Nixon, the impeachment process started in 1973.
And just think, the whole time this is going on,
the course of a year,
there was a white man that was guarding a pool, and he was talking to a guy, and his name was Corn Pop, and he was a bad dude. He went bad boys. This was going on the same fucking time.
Yeah, it really was. Oh my god. Corn Pop. Oh my god. Could the Democrats not at least just put somebody competent? Just normal? Just average? Even if they're on the liberal side, even if they have their false sense of compassion or whatever the fuck it is that people get motivated by. I mean, like, Obama, for as bad as he was and for as much as he fucked up this country, he at least, acted normal and spoke well. I mean, it's just the degradation is too much. Even Bernie, because I don't really think that he would have been able to do what he wanted to do. But I still feel like...
Yeah, they were going to kneecap him from the beginning, though. I mean, he was never going to make it.
But I mean, like, even if he got elected, like, he's not he wouldn't be able to go full socialism like that. Especially how
No.
you know at the time the Republican House and Senate was looking, but you know he could string together a fucking sentence without his eyes
but
glazing
I'll still take
over.
the stance that if you don't believe in conspiracy theories, you don't believe that there's anything going on in the world besides what CNN tells you, okay? And politics are simply a 4-year plan, and there aren't backroom deals more than it comes to public light, okay? Go back to January 2020, okay? Corona, or COVID, COVID-19, whatever, was coming over to the United States eventually, but it was still not here, allegedly, right? So during that time, you
What
can
month
make the
did you
argument
say?
that January 2020.
Oh yeah, dude, there were people that didn't even believe it was real at that point.
Yeah, okay, so go back to the beginning of Medicare, started watching it the November. He said, hey guys, there's this thing in China, some videos are coming out, I'm keeping my eye on it, right? So you can make the argument that Biden was a lame duck candidate, and they knew Trump was a shoo-in because of public support, okay? Take away 2016 Google, take away how tech companies were mad that their guy didn't win, whatever, okay? None of that exists in this reality that I'm painting, okay? Biden, you can make the argument, was a throwaway candidate because Trump was a shoo-in. And then somewhere during the COVID crisis, they said, oh my God, we got a chance to run and we can turn public against him using COVID.
I never thought of it like that
right.
before.
This is swine. Yeah, because like I always said, up until February, March, April 2020, that Biden was just going to be a throwaway candidate. They knew he wasn't going to make it, so they had to do, technically we got to run someone, even though we know he's not going to make it. The people that we know are going to get in, because it's always, what is it? Every candidate gets 2 terms, and then they switch to the opposite party. So in 2024, the real Democrat nomination would have been the one who got the White House. So they never wanted Biden to win. They just thought Trump was a shoo-in, so they needed a throwaway candidate, and then later on down the road they could decide who they wanted. And the key players could get 4 years older, they could get more airtime.
What do you think about that, Grayson?
AOC could back them. She's too young, but she could show support for the person they wanted. Yeah, I mean, because then you got Ted Cruz is a little bit older. You have all these people that are in their 40s. They're young 40-year-olds are now 45. They can be on TV more, and it looks a little bit better. But you got to have a throwaway candidate for 2020, right? That's what I always thought Biden was until the middle of 2020.
What do you think about that, Grayson? Do you think it just kind of you think it just kind of fell into their lap? That they figured this is the perfect way to slime Trump, basically. Grayson, you still there?
Away from the keyboard.
Oh yeah, I was not sure if you're talking.
Oh yeah. Do you think that Joe Biden, they assumed that he was just going to be a throwaway candidate, and that they figured COVID was the perfect thing to politicize? That they just had to.
I actually agree with that 100% because with a lot of stuff coming out. I lived in China for a long time and actually visited Wuhan, China, a few months before the outbreak. So a lot of the stuff that's coming out with 2015 Obama traveling through the Wuhan laboratory, and then you have Fauci's signature on sending millions of dollars for research to this Wuhan laboratory. I think that there's been something that's been going on behind the scenes for a long time. And Biden was probably wasn't the main pick, but they did have a plan already to spread this virus, to shut down the economy, to implement all these draconian rules, and force a mail-in ballot situation where they could commit mass election fraud. I think that plan was already in the works, and Biden just happened to be the guy, the fall guy, the throwaway candidate that they picked.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought of it like that before. I knew it was weird it was suspicious. I was always confused as to why they would pick Joe Biden. But on one hand, it seems like he's easily steered into whatever decision they want to happen. But then at the same time, yeah, somebody that's really paying attention to kind of the different sites that really influence stuff. Like, by the time something ends up on Reddit or Twitter, it was disseminated through things like 4chan that are a lot more underground, but where people go to steal memes from, basically. So I'm sure there's other places, but like I'm sure somebody that was paying attention to that was thinking, okay. And if you think about it, like even on Netflix, there was a documentary about flu, and there was that Bill Gates seminar where they determined that like a coronavirus would be the next biggest threat to humanity.
Posted that in general.
Yeah, there was a ton of buildup as far as the next, zombie movies, like everything, to make people scared of some kind of infection. I shouldn't say zombie movies, but like Contagion or Containment, the TV series, and Contagion the movie, and things like that. So I mean, it was ripe for exploitation.
You start going down that rabbit hole, then you start going Walking Dead, you start going, some of the things on TV, but then you gotta look like Agenda 21, who would profit from this? How would they have influenced the path of things, and how they are represented in the media? Obviously you have something to gain from this, so wouldn't a company like Amazon, okay, they would obviously stand a profit if people stayed home and need things shipped to them. So how would Amazon help influence this? So you start going down that rabbit hole, you're like, oh, there's a lot more tied together than just a random outbreak, tech censorship on overload, paving the way for social. Well, I mean, any sensationalized news is going to sell, like the whole if it bleeds, it leads, but like, what stories you pick to be on the front line might influence people to be a little bit more active in, maybe Black Lives Matter a little bit more than they did before as far as those protests. Maybe you want more people pushing that message. Maybe you have more people pushing back against the president, his beliefs. If you could attack them individually, that would make them less firm in the public's eye. So you start looking at everything as a big puzzle. You're like, oh no, there's so many moving pieces, and they're all the same key players.
Yeah, I agree. It's sometimes I just try and put myself in the shoes of somebody who's just totally establishment. And I wonder what happens in somebody's life to bring themselves to that, to not even look at the fact that they're censoring people and not want to pay attention to that. Who knows?
Well, I think they know exactly what they're doing, and I think for them, it's about power over truth. And they know that the other side does have a lot of truth, but they want to have absolute power and eliminate the other side. So they don't care to have a conversation or come to an agreement in the middle somewhere. They just want to completely eradicate all opposition, and they're going to do whatever they can to do it.
Yeah.
Because I went to Portland also. I went to Portland and Seattle for the big riots that were happening there, to get video and talk to people, because I'm seeing it on online, and I'm like, this is insane. I don't know if this is true. So I went there myself, and I used to think,
can you say when it was?
Yeah, it was way worse in real life. It's like hell on earth. It's like literally
when?
Satan
2020
released demons.
If you're allowed to say.
These people, they mutilate themselves. They're all in the source of sex degeneracy. A lot of them, they're doing a whole bunch of drugs out in the open. It's a lot of drunkenness and drug use and transsexuals who are part of these riots, which is really sad to begin with. But what I found out from talking and interviewing these people is they're they're not exactly ignorant about what they're doing. These are reasonably intelligent people, to say the least. I mean, for what they're doing, they're not intelligent, but you know what I mean. They have a brain in there. I honestly think that these people, they know exactly what they're doing, and they don't care that they're on the side of evil, and they know they're on the side of evil, and they want it to triumph.
Well,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, the people at the top do, but what's really interesting is they take everybody and they try and make it appear as though this is the thing to do if you have empathy, or this is the thing to do if you want equality or justice, when in reality it's so far from that if they would just realize that they're doing the exact opposite of what they think they're doing. But it's just, you see all these, like you were saying, people with problems in their life, and they think that if they can white knight on the behalf of somebody else, it's going to make them, a better person, even though they're leading a life that they're not happy with.
Good point.
I just think, it's kind of with what you just said. And then how many people did you see shooting up heroin on the 6th? Let me ask you that.
No, not the 6th. I was talking about previously.
I know, that's what I mean. But when you were there on the 6th, did you see a lot of people? I can't remember who it was.
I didn't.
Yeah, someone was on the kill stream, and there were women twerking at a something, and they called them out. They were like, "This is a conservative movement. Please stop doing that." And they just went crazy on them because I guess they call them trad thoughts. But there's a lot of women that just want the attention from that they can get.
Instagram likes.
But yeah, what were you gonna say, Grayson?
Yeah, I didn't see anybody shooting up heroin at the Million MAGA marches. Some people they smoke pot, and that was about it. And even that was a bit rare.
Yeah, so I mean the distinction is clear. You can look at the numerical data and see like the number of injured officers that were injured, various things like that. I personally haven't fact checked this, so I don't want to speak too much on it. But the one thing I can say is I was watching live coverage of everything, and from what I saw, they're just night and day, both literally and figuratively.
After the fact, I saw footage on mainstream media. So let me be clear with this. I was digging through mainstream media, not other sources. But the only thing I came across was one cop got injured. They pulled him out of the crowd, and he walked to get medical care. I think something happened to his shoulder or something like that. But that was the only injured cop that I saw. And that was it. That was the only injury besides the 4 deaths, which should be taken serious. Let me be clear. But that was it, though. There was only one injured cop compared to, pick a riot. I promise you, there's not a single riot that happened in 2020 that had less than one injured cop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't researched the actual numbers, but it's not even close in comparison. And for a fact that if it was Black Lives Matter, or I don't know, because I feel bad because from I want to say 2016 to 2018, and this I've argued with people about this before, so this is up for debate, but from 2016 to 2018, Black Lives Matter was just a fairly prevalent anti-police brutality advocacy group. And somewhere along the lines, it gained enough traction. And then, George Floyd either happened because it was designed to happen, or it happened as a coincidence and was just filmed in a manner that was easy to disseminate. But at that point, Black Lives Matter had already changed into this really weird communist, organization where it wasn't about just anti-police brutality. It was anti-police brutality and destruction of the family unit and destruction of the patriarchy and, you know, death to white people and various things like that. But once that happened, if it was a BLM riot in that regard at the White House, there would be so much more damage in money wise to the property damage or property destruction, whatever they call it. Let me see.
Real quick, you said you went to Seattle. What was the, like, you said that you talked to people there, Grayson. What was like the average conversation? Like, what were they generally there for?
To abolish the police, abolish the family, and end capitalism. That was the those are the big three things.
I mean,
and they were really mean about it too.
Don't you need police when you have communism? Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Grayson.
I don't go to these things with a MAGA hat, and I don't go like all chatted out. I dress nice. I wear a tie, so maybe I look out of place.
I love that.
And these people are incredibly mean when I go into their group, and I'm like, I want to march with you and talk with you and do interviews, and like they look at me and like, this guy has a tie and a suit on, and they get really mean and they threaten me. Portland, they threatened to kill me a few times, but Seattle, luckily, they just threatened to beat me up. And these people are just really sick, evil people. It's difficult to talk with them.
That's unfortunate that you can't even have dialogue. And when I went to, whenever I go to any kind of public thing, I usually dress way up, because I have a fairly physical job, so I wear like real shitty clothes because they get dirty a lot. And you know, 9 times out of 10, I feel like I'm not looking as good as I could. You know, I've got fucked up boots, and you know, depending on what I was doing that day, it might be dirt or oil or dust or mud or whatever. So if I'm going to go out and do something or go see a show or go participate in anything, I would dress way up for the occasion. So I'm glad you told me that, though, because if I wanted to go in editorial capacity, I would probably want to try and fit in as much as possible.
Yeah, you gotta dress like you're homeless.
Yeah, well, honestly, when I was thinking about going to protest in my state, I was also, you know, paying attention to Medicare and the poll threads and everything during, I think, like, late December, early January. Shout out to my dog, you know who you are. But he was the first person to send me, like, he sent me an article where 4chan had figured out that there were levels of sulfur or something like that in the atmosphere that was indicative of them burning bodies or something like that. And I don't know how true that was, but that got me back into 4chan.
I think that was backed up pretty good.
Yeah, that got me back into 4chan, and I started looking at everything. So I went and bought 2 full-faced respirators. At the time, I got one is like a $250 respirator. It's fucking crazy. It takes 3M filters and everything. I got it for like $60, and then I got another one that has proprietary filters, so it's a little bit rare. To find them for like $40.
Baked Alaska's officially fugitive.
Make sure you fact check that shit, because I saw that posted. I just don't know if it's legit.
Audio of the court hearing seems.
Did you listen to it? Because I will file that under big if true.
Let me pull up the court documents. Hang on.
What's his first name?
Tim.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Have you guys ever actually met him, IRL?
I've not.
I have not.
I know he has this reputation, but in real life he's a really nice guy, so I just gotta add that in there.
No, dude, I know. I can tell a lot of it is like, I don't know. He's been streaming long enough that I feel like he's gotten good at probably being able to make a character and separate, you know. I feel like he's a nice guy, and he always is trying to do what he perceives as the right thing, even though he is turbo grift, and I can never forgive him for all like the, you know, I always give people one chance. If you want to switch up your entire, you know, ideology, you got one chance. And
That
but if
video
you
where
ever,
he's like,
yeah, I got, you know, I got swept up in the memes, and they turned me into the alt-right, and da-da-da-da-da. I mean, like, I think we were talking about it on another show, but various, you know, types of mace and stuff to work to varying degrees. And, like, because we've seen people get maced, and they just take it. I mean, they're obviously disabled, but they're not I need milk status, you know what I mean? So I think he played that up in the character for the camera a little bit, and he realized that'd make him money. But it's at least we'll see. I'm anticipating the next video. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be a fugitive anymore. We'll see.
I mean, you got to admit, he's a master because people would tune in to watch that.
Dude, okay, now I really
We've watched them just to talk shit.
Dude,
I mean,
no, yeah, we watch them. Like, I'll be honest, I don't really watch them if it's not on stream because I'm not. I can catch everything on Twitter pretty much, all the clips and stuff. But I'm really gonna pay attention now because this is looking, you know, Newsweek. I don't know what their affiliation is, but they said arrest warrant issued for far-right personality.
So, hey, real quick, right now he's facing 1 count of assault intentionally causing physical injury, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, disruptive behavior, and fighting.
No, I'm sorry, 1 count of that. And 1 count of criminal trespassing 3rd degree. Future court date is on 1/22 at 11:30 a.m. Courtroom number 4 for the pre-trial conference.
As of today.
Where is that?
So anytime the court, ScottsdaleArizona.gov.
Oh, bro, can you go cover that court hearing? I don't know. Isn't Scottsdale
in Arizona
Mountain Time? Not you,
that's
Mr.
where they
Grayson.
think I live at on Instagram. Yeah, send me the details of this thing.
That would be fucking insane.
Personal message.
I mean,
yeah, real quick. Hold up. On 1/14, no time, warrant issued. So now hang on. Anytime anyone from the court touches this,
It's logged. So right after the warrant was issued, there was a phone call.
warrant ordered, oral argument held, record request picked up, phone call, online motion filed, a bunch of phone calls back and forth, I'm assuming between departments internally. The records were picked up, email correspondence, online motion filed.
Send me what you're looking at.
The records were picked up. The records were completed. There was a phone call, email correspondence, and the last thing with no time that was touched on his case by a agent was oral argument on motion hearing. So I don't see where they have said that he didn't show up. He owes $65 as of right now. The defendant did post an online motion today, and then previously the state posted online, and that's it. So I don't see where they're saying that he didn't show up, because all it says is a paperwork was filed and that there was a warrant issued, which could have been a bench warrant. A bench warrant means nothing. I mean, I've had bench warrants, so I mean.
Oh, I don't. Well, is that just did he just miss his? So, let's see.
That means nothing. Literally, that means nothing.
No, I mean.
It just means that he's supposed to.
No. Okay, so he was arrested in December when he maced that bouncer. You remember that, right? Did you see that clip, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we played it.
I think we did. I can't remember if we did, but it was really bad. He was really in the wrong on that one. He was acting like a beta bitch. And real quick, I feel like I've been giving Bake the benefit of the doubt. I'm just now remembering when him and Chaggett were in that bar and they called the cops on a fucking woman because she was arguing with them. And that whole that do you well
Wait,
that
wait,
situation,
was that his? Was that with his ex-girlfriend? With that
no,
chick she
it
was
was
like,
him. It
way
was just
after.
him and Chaggett. No, this was way before. It was him and Chaggett. And they were
Okay.
in a
Oh, yeah,
bar,
sorry.
and he was
Sorry.
arguing with this lady, and she threw a dart at him, and he called the cops. Like, just the biggest beta bitch I've ever seen in my life. I just got to put that out there. But you know, women are not like, especially drunk women are not something that can be reasoned with logically. And if you just don't go into a situation knowing that, and you want to keep escalating it for your fucking content, but then go and call the cops on the lady, that just seems fucked up to me. But anyways, when he maced that bartender or that security guy at the bar, he was supposed to stay in Arizona, and obviously he was not in Arizona when he was on Pelosi's fucking phone.
yeah.
So yeah, he broke that restriction. Does he?
Okay, now
Do
isn't
you know
there
if,
an
real
argument
quick,
to be
Grayson,
made
do you
that
know if he resides in Arizona? Because I know he was there for
I
Sammy
don't know
and
if he wants me
whatnot.
to dox him. But I do
Oh,
know where
fuck,
he
my
lives.
bad. Yeah, don't worry about it. No, never mind.
don't?
Never mind. But if
We can.
because like I don't know
it's on
if
his
like
streams.
your home state would pick that up or not. But if it would be kind of weird for them to force him to stay in Arizona if that's not where he lives. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah.
Yeah.
So it does not appear. So a hearing on the petition for him to leave Arizona was expected to take place on Thursday, but he didn't appear. So once he didn't appear, then the judge issued a warrant.
Okay.
So wouldn't that be a bench
But
warrant,
I don't
right?
see that on. Yeah, but I don't. But you're going with what is
Giannette
alleged
alleged that he had
versus not what is on the court documents.
Giannette
Yeah,
alleged that he had contracted COVID-19 from the bouncer during the December altercation before traveling to Washington to participate in the riot. That shit is so fucking funny. Oh my god,
Yeah,
he's
because
such
that's
a
one of the
fucking
things that they were
idiot,
calling
dude.
for.
Because then he gets on the phone, and you know how they're gonna spin that. But anyways,
It's not a
I think
charge,
it's
but they
epic.
did
It's
say
epic
he
base
endangered
material.
everyone there.
it is. This is just he's a fucking fed, bro. I don't know. Well, you can't be a fed and a fugitive. I don't think so. This
What do
actually
you
does
bet
really
like 30
good for
years
his
from now?
street cred.
Yeah, that's a good cover if he is a Fed. I'm playing devil's advocate, okay? If they put a
I'd
warrant
like to-
out for Milo today, enough people would say, hey, maybe we could take him back.
Obviously, he's not fed.
Someone
Kind of
said
like Richard Spencer.
he was a BLM activist on BuzzFeed. He was most recently part of Andrew Yang Gang 2020. How did he go back to being a racist Trump supporter? They don't fucking realize, bro. Baked Alaska has the art of the grift perfected. It just
Yep.
put so succinctly, like, from somebody that has no idea the shit that he's been doing behind the scenes. The people that just read mainstream media like BuzzFeed and see him do a music video for Yang Gang, and they have no clue what else he's been doing.
I forgot he did that.
Yeah, it's just so apt. It's really.
Well, he's done, like, I mean,
He has changed hats so many times.
Dude, it's like the
that I
quadruple.
forget
I'm just
entire
wondering if
chapters.
he's gonna go for the septuple grift. That would be a record. I mean, I think he's already in number one for like straight. It has to be a 180-degree ideological change.
AOC supporter.
Yeah, if somebody could do that 5
could do
times
it.
and still make
could
the
do it.
kind of still draw the audience he draws, man, I don't give a fuck anymore. That is still impressive. Like I used to be really angry and spiteful about it because I was talking about earlier, there's tons of people that are in it just for the money and they really don't mean what they say. But if you do it 5 times, forget it. You're just like you get that Bill Clinton respect, that straight criminal respect.
Okay, I will not mention names. Okay, so to be clear, don't mention the name of the person we're talking about. Okay.
Theodore.
Old
Close.
titty.
I have more respect for someone who grifts.
Than someone who will gather a fan base and burn down his following every couple months when his life falls and destroy his fan base and start over from scratch every couple months. I do respect the grifter more.
I don't know. At some point, business is business, and like what Grayson was saying, he sounds like he'd be just a normal dude in real life, but he's got a business side that you have to put a little bit of yourself into your art if you're going to be an IRL streamer like that. And he's fucked up in every way conceivable, so he knows what not to do. And I think he's just taking gambles at this point, because I wonder if he cashed out his lemons, before if he's able to do it.
It's one.
Before he gets
Raging
banned.
Humanist went over this. It's once a month on D Live, and once you get banned, you have no access to anything. Now,
From that account, and he would do a stream.
From that account.
He would do a stream that would give him like $1,500. So as long as he
but you can only cash out once a month.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's like the first of the month, or that might be Entropy. I have it confused. But so the thing is, you have to.
Went over this with Rage.
You have to upload a picture of your ID. So I don't know if that would once that happened, he would get caught up, and you'd be like, oh, he's banned. We can't cash him out. Whatever. But maybe it didn't.
Takes them.
Well, I don't know if they seize them in that case. If they consider that ban evasion or what.
Well, okay, but D-Live issued a statement saying for all the people that gave money to ban streamers, they're doing refunds for the next 72 hours if you contact them and say, I want my money back since my guy got banned.
Dang.
But as of right now, they owe Rage $3,000. They owe Fuentes ungodly amount of money.
Who even knows?
I know from the numbers that were ballparked, D-Life made around $35,000 in one night banning those guys.
Okay, so let's see. I've got a diamond to... Ethan's not completely banned. Let me see. I mostly give money to Adawolf, so there's that.
Adawolf might be fine. Yeah, and I think Andy's fine for now.
I don't even know who that is. All out.
You gave money to people you don't know. It's pretty cool.
Ghost Politics. He's not banned. Adawolf. Yeah, no, it's mostly just people I know, and not many of them got banned permanently, to where it would be worth a refund. It is cool that I can look through this, though. I like the blockchain idea.
So do you want to take bets on Ethan?
No, I don't even. That seems like bad, jinx. Don't speak it into existence.
I'll be curious if he, because he's the only one I'm aware of that they.
Did you listen to the kill stream yesterday?
I did not. Do you
want dude?
Kill stream, Grayson?
I didn't see it.
He's live on Trovo and he's liking it a lot, and he fucking blew it out of the water. Had 1,000 viewers. The monetization is better on there. It streams in 1080p. There's a lot of good things about Trovo. Speaking of which, my Trovo chat.
Do they have a mobile app?
I've got one viewer on Trovo. Shout out to the Trovo. That might be me though.
Does Trovo have an app?
I don't know if they do or not.
TROVO.
Yeah, .live. Trovo.live.
They got an app.
Yeah, so check that out. But yeah, he did really, really well. I mean, coming off a ban, people really came out. I'm probably gonna donate something tonight, because I wasn't thinking about it. But yeah, it was a good show too. Just a lot of stuff happening in the news, and I like Ethan's take on things. He's fairly centrist like myself, so.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people, at least in today's political climate, are gonna think you're centrist.
Oh, that's the thing. I'm centrist in my eyes. I just try and be reasonable and compromise, but some people might want to burn me at the stake.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, by the way.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you for
problem.
coming, man.
Yeah, we've been going for like 3 hours. I need to
I
go
know
eat some dinner.
it doesn't seem like it, but are you a religious
Real
man?
quick, how long have you been online? How long have you been streaming?
Yeah, that's good. Right back.
All right, so yeah, that's actually a story right there to answer that question because it's not a simple answer. I got back from China in February. So I've been back in the United States for like 11 months now. And when I got back, I just kind of did little social media stuff until I met Nick Fuentes, and then I was like, maybe I should do some streaming. And now I draw an audience of 6 people, and
Let's
I'm
go.
like the bane of the leftists. But yeah, before I got back from China, I actually had an online thing over there. So a lot of people right now, China has what's called WeChat and Weibo. I don't know if you guys know about it.
I haven't heard
But
of that.
I
hear about a lot in the news, but yeah.
An media account called International Panda, and I would write funny stuff about China and then talk about like Chinese culture and stuff. But I'd have a right-wing bent to it, where a man is a man and a woman is a woman, and you need to get married, and gay marriage is bad, and like really simple cultural stuff that Chinese people support but really pisses off the left.
That's awesome.
So I became really infamous in a way because the leftists in China would try to do these ban campaigns against me, but because I'm like really in line with Chinese culture itself, it would never go anywhere, and it just increased my base even more. So now that this Instagram thing happened, everybody's sharing it over in my Chinese circles, and they're like, "This is the guy."
Oh my god, dude, that's so cool. Wow,
yeah,
dude, that's really
I've been on the internet
too.
for a while.
That's what it takes,
cool,
bro.
Man. That's a cool ass story.
You know, like Dark Side Phil has just he's not very popular per se, but he's got like 58,000 videos. So, it just takes consistency over time, and you'll get a following. If people love you, they'll follow you because they love you. If they hate you, they'll follow you because they hate you. But as long as you're consistent and they know that you're there, then they'll participate. And I feel like either way, it's like Wolf on Wall Street type thing. If you mind me asking, are you religious?
Yes.
Okay,
I would say that I became a really big Christian while in China, and a lot of it has to do with just seeing how society works without God, and seeing how other religious societies works, like Islamic societies, and just beginning to understand why America is just in its horrible place right now. So yeah, I'm very pro-Christian, very Christian myself.
I'd like to share a verse with you. My boss told me this today, and I thought it's funny to me because the type of person he is. But it's Ecclesiastes 1:18. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. So just take that for what it is, and I hope you have good luck. You're doing. I'd like to offer you some encouragement. We really appreciate you helping out like little shows like this, and you've got a good message. So just keep it up, man, and I hope they don't slime you too bad.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
For sure, man.
Thank you. And we'll Flo, can you put his stuff in the YouTube description?
Yeah, for sure. If you wanna paste your stuff into chat, or I know you sent me the D Live channel on Telegram. I could throw it in there too later. But if I upload this, it'll be in any description.
Okay, I'll send you my links on Discord.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a good app for me.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna go eat dinner. So thanks again.
Have a good one, man. Thanks for staying so long.
Hopefully we'll talk together in the future.
Yeah, anytime you want to do something, just let me know. If there's anything I can do to help you too, just pass it along.
Cool. Yeah, I just want your friendship. That's it.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, I can definitely give that.
Right in the feels. All right, have a good night.
Take it easy, boss.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. What a champ.
Fucking
I fucking bring the heat, dude. Joe.
You did good. I thought Apple brought him.
Well, Joe.
I was texting her.
Joe, for the most part, does a lot of work for the show, and I really appreciate for him that. But I'm just allowed to go and look for interesting guests where all of the dark corners that I go into. So it works out really well. I didn't know he had an Instagram post where 14,000 people liked it.
That is amazing. Hey. Oh my god.
Yeah, what a G, dude. And he's right. They did pick an excellent picture.
Oh, it's fucking the best goddamn picture. It's
dude,
fucking perfect.
Can you imagine giving that to your kids? Like, oh yeah, you know, regardless of what the status quo is now, that's like punk rock. Conservatism is the new punk rock. That sounds so cringe to say, but it's like, that's metal as fuck to me.
Okay, so I was thinking about this today at work. So you have, because Rage said something about how you have the punk rock was anti-establishment,
anti-government, things like that, right? And then at some point you had the guys in the punk rock scene started turning left.
Somewhere over the last 10 years, 15 years, right? And
yeah.
It started off with, well, there was a lot of skinheads in the punk scene, and we're trying to right those wrongs, okay? So you can say, okay, I follow your logic, okay, that's cool. That's still with the punk attitude, right? Because at the core of it, you have people who are saying, we are outcasts from society, and we just want all the outcasts to be welcome in this little area, this group. Okay, I get it. Same thing. Like, I grew up a skater, so I get that, okay? But then it morphed into, you have a very strong punk presence that is BLM, who is far left ideology, and somewhere along those lines. And I was thinking about this today at work. I was like, I wonder if at some point you had the anti-establishment views turned into the anti-establishment of punk itself.
Yeah, it is a
like,
weird,
like punk
weird
as an
paradigm
establishment
shift.
And saying, I want to go against what it stands for. I want to go against, you know, violence and pushing back against the man to let's push back against the man, meaning if the government is one thing, let's do the opposite, which fits in with the Trump narrative. But it wasn't there during the Obama era. So, was this a answer to the Trump presidency, or was this because of leftist views of drugs, which were very prevalent in that scene? Like, how did the punk scene move from what it did in the 80s to
dude, it's like, so
year?
You know the phenomena when you find somebody online, right, who has this really crazy way of looking at things. And what I think happens is they get this idea in their head, like, oh, I want to wear diapers. Like, I feel like I want to wear diapers all the time. And so they go online and they find these little communities of, like, let's say they're like 700 people, right? To you and me, that's not a very large online community because we just have years under our belt of looking at things, and we understand, you know, the trends of social media and YouTube channels and how they come and go, and basically the different thresholds of growth that someone has to meet before they have a status where they really have an influence on things. They see like a community of 700 people, but that 700 people are all very involved, and so the variety of posts that they make is pretty large, and you've got a lot of turnover and interaction at the same time. So they think, oh, this is a completely normal thing, so it all reinforces that behavior. And you could look at it from like gang stalking as an example, another good example where
I think that's probably the best example of that. Because you have something that is, okay, not a doctor, and I followed gang stalking for quite a while, back in the day. It was just like one of those interesting.
I gotta go to the
things
bathroom
me.
real quick, but I'll listen to the stream.
So, you have someone who some would make the argument it has its root in maybe a mental disorder, some would say. But, if you have enough people, 300, what is it, 350, 375 million people, we'll just say just the US, there's going to be a very, very, very small percentage of people who are convinced that people are after them. A smaller percentage are online, and a smaller percentage are going to talk about it. Of those handful of people, you might have, out of 375 million people, you might have 700 people who say, I'm convinced there's people following me. I'm convinced that, they wear red hats, that they have red cars, that they do signals, and you could say the signals are paranoia based, but you could also say, some of those people might also be influencing other people who may be on the edge of, I think there's someone following me, but I can't figure out the pattern. And if you read a bunch of other people who say, I felt the same way, and this is a pattern I noticed, it's kind of like when you watch so with Disney go into subliminal messages, the SFX scene in Little Mermaid. If someone tells you it is SEX, that's what you see. And then until someone says no, it's actually SFX, and that was, special effects team put that in there for the hell of it, or whatever the story is, I can't remember. But if you're convinced that you might be gang stalked, but you can't figure out the pattern, and someone says, by the way, it's red hats, if you're a little bit unhinged, you might notice some red hats. So, I get it. It all goes back to, there's 700 people talking about any given subject at any given time that all agree, and look at furries. That started as a small community and got bigger over the years. It started off as, I don't know, degenerate yiffs, and then it turned into,
yeah.
Furry Con, and like a whole community of people that make costumes, and people that, don't even necessarily, wear costumes, but they want their partner to wear them. So then you have like furry chasers, and all this started as 700 people, It's interesting.
Yeah, like well, you've already got the preconceived notion.
No.
Oh shit. We need to make a Telegram, dude. I forgot. I guess. I don't know. Discord's not
yeah, I was gonna tell you, if you want my... No, but, we need one. Because if it's tied to the show, we need to have it to the show, not to the person. That's half the reason I made Entropy today. I was like, I'll just hand you over my account if you don't already have one.
Yeah, no, I have spoken to the people that own Entropy, and I'm gonna find out what happens if the account that I use to log in gets banned. What happens then if I still have access to the account or not? Because I can always switch it over to like just an Entropy account. I tried doing that in the first place, and then just linking, the channel that it was gonna stream off of, but it just overrid it. Because I think I did that first a long time ago, like for Bibble streams on Entropy. I just linked my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So,
let me know what they say, because mine's tied to something that if I lose it, I will be a little bit angry, and I would like to know everything attached to it did not also get nuked. So yeah, let me know what they say about that, and if it is usable if the parent source is also nuked.
Oh my gosh.
What's another topic
Grayson,
besides gang stalking that, like, this is my rabbit hole of, like, thinking of groups that that have to be a very small number of people. Like, baby play has taken off. Furries have taken off.
Bro, so do you know who are these podcasts? WATP, the podcast?
No.
Give me 1 second.
No. I know Painkiller talks about like the rare Reddit of the week. And the problem is, I really liked it, and I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to copy them. So that's what kind of influenced me finding these weird, obscure YouTube channels. Because I was like, at least if I do it on YouTube, it's somewhat not an exact copy, and how I find them is completely different than how they find their Reddits, their subreddits. So,
well, who
that's
are these
why I do
podcasts?
the YouTube thing.
They do that. They do something like that, but with really shitty podcasts. So, they had one on their Patreon. I subscribed to their Patreon. $5 a month, bro. Steep, but it's all right. Cause they have crossover episodes with the Dick Show, and I'm going to, I'm gonna watch the crossover episodes. Then maybe I'll watch some of their bonus episodes, but they only have 40 bonus episodes, so I might be able to burn through all of it in like 2 months. And I do like them. They're definitely worth the $10. But they pick apart like really shitty podcasts, and they have an adult baby diaper lover podcast that they review.
Wait, it's a different adult baby diaper podcast each week or each month?
No, that was just one of them. Like,
oh, okay.
No, they do like. They did.
I was like, how many do they find? I've never found one.
That was just a bonus episode. They have an actual podcast where they do this. That's just called "Who Are These Podcasts?" And they've done all kinds. Like they did one where it was called the Vocal Fry Podcast or something like that, where grammar, the host of the podcast said grammar is racist. So they do a lot of stuff like, they're on Apple iTunes and everything. But yeah, they're quite,
I don't give a lot of money to the people that I don't give a lot of money to a lot of different people. There's a very small group of people that I believe in, and that's part of why I follow them and kind of help them, and whatever. But whenever you find someone that is small, and you can directly say, I'm one of a very small group of people who has been there forever, that is a good feeling to be like, I kind of helped this person get their channel off the ground and start helping other people realize what they're talking about. Like that's a good feeling. I really do get the whole Patreon kind of vibe where you're like, I really did help this person create a channel, and now they're helping, bring the news or whatever to the masses. Especially when like you started small and now they're a bigger channel. It's like that's a good thing. Like that's something you can do to directly help the community, directly help your generation, the next generation, however you look at it. It is a nice feeling.
I feel you on that one, definitely. It's always nice to share. It's cool.
Yeah,
that's the
like,
coolest thing
that's
about streaming is being able to directly support people that you like. You're not paying a label, you're not paying a media organization or a marketing organization. You're just mostly paying a hoster and a creator.
Yeah, and plus, that's kind of why I preach Raging, or now it's Raging Dissonant. They changed his name finally, but there's a community around some of these channels, and it's like I found him, and then after I found him, I'm like, oh god, there's like 15 channels attached to this guy. There's 15 different guys in this network. It's like a IP2, but it's just dissonant rights. It's alt center is what it is, but you're like, oh, it's like you find a community, and you're like, this is like my home. Like I found my people. Like that's an amazing feeling, finding your group online. It being like all these people believe the exact same shit I believe for the same reasons I believed. You know, finding your group is a magical thing on the internet. So like,
Yeah, I agree.
I'm that way with politics and morality. But I mean, imagine if put yourself in the shoes of someone who has a kink that no one has ever understood in their entire life, and they find 40 other people who are online at this very moment who all like to smell socks as they wear a diaper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's very validating. And like you said, but the thing that with that is
Mental illness?
it reinforces it a ton in a disproportionate way.
Yeah.
My God, Flamenco Blacks, this shit you're trying to this Mastodon server is bad, bro. Yeah, if you have a Mastodon, follow that. So you should
Say
just
what?
the trending hashtag I shall not speak of it. Here, let me try and do this.
By the way, you do realize the picture I use is a Mastodon album, right?
Oh, that's a band.
From Atlanta, yeah.
Hell yeah, Mastodon servers are like, it's like a Twitter clone, but it's uncensored and they're a little bit different. I'm not sure exactly how they work. Yeah, I don't know, but like, I'm gonna, here, look in Discord real quick. I'm gonna share my screen.
Oh shit, fuck, hang on.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, it should be up. This is really funny.
I don't know, it just says it's loading again. Something.
Okay, yeah, hold on.
As it looks for that.
Yep, it should
Yeah,
be
I
up
got it.
now. Can you see it? Yeah, look at this. Do you see that?
Fuck yes.
Yeah, no. I'll tell you
I'll
tell you how to get like if you make a Mastodon account, but go to paypig.org and create one for that one, and then you can follow this one.
Sure. The one thing Ryan Dawson had a guest on, speaking of like different networks, and the guy was talking about how to do a decentralized social networking. So think of it as the logic of email, okay? There are thousands of servers that all communicate with each other, but there's no centralized thing for email, okay? It's just 1,000 people communicating through different servers, okay? So for $200 to $300, whenever he gets done with it, it's going to be something you plug into your router, and it's basically your own node. So it is your node to do your own, to be part of a social network that is decentralized. Cool. So I can contact you, you can contact me. I have to find you to like communicate with you so you don't stumble across the evils of the internet accidentally. But it's decentralized, so you can never nuke someone's Twitter account because I am in fact my own server. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that would be sick. Like a hardware integration that does that. It seems logical too. Yeah. It would just be hard because like I feel like the ISPs could just put out a patch that makes them obsolete, but it would be fun for a while.
Well, okay, but like, you know, I came up with the time of after Gazal, we went to Direct Connect, okay? So Direct Connect was, I ran a program on my computer, and I would find other people running the same program. And we could look at each other's hard drives. So you would only share certain folders that you wanted to share with the public, which were movies, pictures, video games, ROMs, porn, whatever, right? All of it was mostly a workaround to downloading torrents or like downloading bootleg shit back in the day, right? So you're talking 2001, maybe 2002. So I mean, this was after Napster got shut down, but you know the pirating thing already took off. So you would just find other people running the program, and you would just connect to their computer and download whatever they had that they wanted to share. So it's the same concept, but you're just applying it to social media. So I am my own social media at my house, and then I would find you.
Yikes, sorry about that. Could you hear that?
No.
Okay, maybe I'm sure the stream did. Sorry, stream. My fucking buzzer went off. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, but that's the brilliance is, you know, when you are your own server and everyone accesses social media through the app they download or program they download, you can't cancel it.
Okay, yeah, it was on stream. Apple, shout out to based_apple_butter. Go follow her and donate her tens of millions. All your protest diamonds about D Live, give them to her because she's a champ. But yeah, the stream heard it, but it wasn't too bad. Well, what a baller show! What a banger show! I might have to upload this one out of order. I'm always 2 or 3 behind on BitChute because it's so hard to upload to. But I might have to just upload this one now because it's so relevant.
Oh, real quick, I'm gonna have you pull up a picture online.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sending it to you in your DMs on Discord. So, yeah, I can. It doesn't matter if they figure out what city this is in. Fuck it. I don't live in that city, anyways. So, pull the picture up on stream. So there was a car chase that ended with a guy crashing his car into a median. As you pull off the interstate on the off ramp, you have to you're forced to turn left, and because you're turning left, there's other traffic on the other side of your lane that's turning the opposite direction to go towards the city.
Good God, you want me to put that on string?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So this guy was in a car chase, and when he flew off the interstate, you're supposed to turn sharp left, and there's a wall separating you because it's like a 6-lane divided road, and because the people getting off the interstate are separated from the rest of the traffic on the highway, there's a concrete wall separating you so people don't accidentally drive into oncoming traffic into the off-ramp, because it is confusing. So the guy turned off the interstate with the cops chasing him and crashed his car into that concrete wall trying to make that turn, okay? So as I pull up to this, I was at the very front of the traffic jam because his car being there blocks everyone else from getting on the interstate. Is this on stream right now?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, so on the right side of the picture, you see that wall?
Yeah.
There was 2 cops standing on top of that wall, pointing pistols at the guy in the car. And then to the left of the picture, the left of his car is a cop car.
Yeah,
there was a cop standing behind the cop car with his AR, a cop behind him with a pistol, and a cop behind him on the other side of the cop car with another AR. So I'm like the 7th car in line, and all of us are stopped, poking your heads out the window going, oh, this is happening. And it's like, oh, this isn't like a car wreck. Like, I see a car hit the wall, but like, right when I got there, I just see everyone screaming at this guy to get the fuck out of the car. And then after you realize there's 1 or 2 cops yelling, then you're like, there's a guy on top of the wall. There's a bunch of guys with guns. And then you're like, they got the ARs out. And you're like, oh, they ain't fucking around with this guy.
Yeah, they've got designated marksmen on that piece.
I don't know about that, but yeah, so
I can't find the fucking story. I've been looking for fucking all night. Like,
That's
I know
crazy.
the city. I know the city it happened. I know the intersection. I know the county. Nothing. Like, I'm hoping it's gonna be on, you know, sometime in the next couple hours. Surely to God, it's gonna be on 11 o'clock news. I mean, this was at 5 o'clock. You know. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
Whenever I find the story, I'll send it in.
Dude,
but
maybe
I
it's
gotta
a
watch other shit
politician.
unfold.
Yeah, maybe it's another politician.
No, 30-year-old white kid, guy, 30,
Maybe a lawyer. Maybe just someone who has
5'8". I think it's a stolen car. I mean, why else would you crash into the goddamn wall? Because, I mean, it was a car chase. You could tell that they were chasing him, when he crashed. Yeah, it was a fucking situation. It was cool as fuck to watch. They got him, like, he got out of the car, he laid down on the ground, they handcuffed him, kept him there for a minute as they checked him for weapons. Eventually, like, once they got him out of the car, they opened up the intersection for people to start driving around this fucking fiasco going on. Once they figured out there was no one else in the car, he didn't have any weapons, and they had cuffs on him, then they let people start kind of moving around a little bit. But yeah, it was fucking crazy to watch the whole fucking thing, dude. It was like the whole thing started and was over with within, fuck, 10 minutes. I pulled up right as they pulled out the rifles, and it was 10 minutes over and done with.
Damn,
like,
witness
"God damn,
to an
that's
armed
quick."
standoff. Why did they have so many guns? I guess you'll have to wait till the news comes out about it.
I really think it was a car chase because there was three cop cars there, and as I pulled up, number 3 was getting out of the car and was climbing up the wall. So whatever it is, I really think it was a car chase. But there was the 2 cops already had guns on him, and one of them decided to open the trunk and get the rifle out because they weren't sure what was going on. And then as other cops
probably better
slowly
safe
got
than
there.
sorry. I mean, pistols are hard to be good with, man. If you're a good pistol gunfighter, you've got a lot of training that worked into that.
Well, I mean, they all train.
Not all of them, dude.
You know,
I think a lot of cops are real
Well,
lazy.
you
But it's
should.
real easier.
You should.
It's real easy to fire an AR. It's real hard to fire a pistol, handgun.
Yeah, and you gotta think though. I mean, this was across the intersection. I mean,
Yeah,
well,
that's what I mean,
They were
like-
3 cars away. They want to make. Now think of this: there are parked cars on 4 sides, on north, south, east, and west of this happening at the exact same moment I took that picture.
Yeah, that's
So I
what
mean, at any given moment, if he's pulled a gun, he could have shot any car in any direction. If you just fired a round off, you almost are guaranteed to hit
Oh,
someone on the
dude.
way home from
Yeah,
work.
but there's no fucking way. Like, even if he had a gun, I mean, there's no way. Well, sometimes people do it, but if he pulls a gun in that situation, dumb. Real dumb.
No, yeah, suicide by cop.
All right, let me.
Yeah,
let me
that's why
go
I was like,
through-
I'm not surprised.
let me-
Good for them.
Let me go through the shill chain. It's Flow Euphoria on all platforms. Just search that. But YouTube, Twitter, DLive, BitChute, Entropy Stream. Please use Entropy Stream. I can do polls there, and you can tell me how the stream's going. If it's boring as fuck, click the little boring emoticon, and then I'll know, and we'll move on to something else. Yeah, at Flow Euphoria on everything. Trovo's the new where the bad boys go, so hit me up on there. Ghost _Ghost. He's so mad because he's been on Trovo for a long time, and he doesn't want it to become like anything different than it is. He's like a conservative Trovo user. So funny. He's a Trovo.
What is the usual
conservative.
Provo base?
It's a lot of Serbs. Yeah, a lot of it's gamers. They pay their gamers the best.
Well, it's fixed to be dissonant right, so I mean.
Yeah, that's what
Sorry.
Ghost is. Yeah, that's exactly it, bro. You summed it up perfect. All right, good night, everybody.
We
Thanks
got
for
nowhere
coming
to
by.
go.
Hollow Apple, shout out to baked _
Thank you, Apple.
or based _ apple_butter. I think that's it, right?
She is based.
Yeah, she's fucking killing it. Thank you for that. Shout out to Flamenco Blacks. Yeah, never mind. Okay, so so when I showed you what I showed you, I guess that's who I follow. So that's more of a reflection on me than anyone else. But anyways, thanks for coming by. Have a good time. Stay safe.